Oh, hello. Greetings. I am 343 Guilty Spark. I am the new monitor of this peculiar tank installation. These treads require much repair, and the latch is sealed shut. One wonders whether Chris, Derek, and Tom Sweeney could even get out if they wanted to.
Hey, look, it's a little dead meme.
Hey, everybody, welcome back to the Snark Tank Podcast. It's us again. It's us. It's the people you know. It's the people you love. Some of you hate us, but it's fine.
Hey, I'm Tom Sweeney. Welcome to the Snark Tank Podcast. I am the host, not him.
Oh, okay.
I'm the host.
I have the document, but you can spitball.
I could try. Okay. So,
all right, go ahead. Drive the show.
Okay,
drive the show.
Let's see.
Let's hear it.
Welcome to the Snark Tank Podcast. Another week with me and me.
You're repeating what I said.
I know,
already.
but I gotta season myself up.
This is so boring.
Okay, I'm not boring. All right. So this week has been an awful lot of ridiculous things happening, but we are going to give you some grade A comedy. All right. The best kind
You're
of
terrible.
comedy you'll ever
Hold on,
you'll
shut
ever
up,
find.
shut up.
I'm
Where's
not
the
bad.
fucking-
Shut up.
Let me
We need a
fucking
laugh
breathe.
track.
Let me grow. All right. Sorry about that, guys. All right. Now continue, Chris. What's the
Oh
doc
my
for
God.
today? What's the doc?
All right,
for
so
today?
I just want to get some housekeeping out of the way first. Thanks to everybody who supports us at patreon.com/thesnarktank. It means a lot. We had a pretty good week this week. A lot of new people coming in. Kind of exploded a little bit, which is a pretty nice little gift in the interim of this really weird time we're all having. I also want to mention that we recently uploaded on the YouTube channel a Snark Tank animated segment from an animator on YouTube called Candles, and you guys all seem to really like it, so thanks for that. Seeing that stuff is like really, really cool. I think we all really liked it.
It's amazing.
And it's actually super cool seeing the animator kind of interpret our podcast as if we're recording this as we're barreling down the road in a literal tank. I thought that that concept was kind of fun.
Nice
That was
touch.
super awesome.
Yeah, so I'm glad somebody put a that's not gonna not be in my head now. That is how I imagine the show now going forward.
Makes
So I
sense.
appreciate that.
So
different parts of us
subscribe
talking, we're all
to
in different parts.
subscribe to the Snark Tank Podcast. Sign up so we can get big enough to actually buy a tank. I think that's
Yeah,
the next
yeah.
Yeah,
step.
that'd be awesome. I would love to be inside
That's
of
the
a tank.
goal. That's honestly the only reason I started this. Is like the second we make enough money to get a tank, I'm done. I'm like we're canceling the show.
Yeah, we're all going our separate ways because the tank is the main goal. The snark is like kind of a byproduct of us wanting a tank.
Yeah, we're not even gonna own it really. We're just gonna buy one and put it on a plot of land and then lock it shut, and then nobody's gonna be able to move it.
We're gonna lock it shut, then we're gonna rig it with a bunch of explosives. So if anyone goes inside of it, hey man, confetti.
Anyway, so thanks for that. If you guys are compelled to make any more animated segments, we love that shit, and we would love to put that stuff out and like share it with everybody because we get a huge kick out of it. Also, there's some merch available at teespring.com. God damn it! Shut the fuck up. Twitter's exploding for me right now.
Yeah, Twitter's popping on my phone too. I don't know why the fuck.
What did you guys do?
I think I know why, but like,
Okay.
but yeah. So there's merch available at teespring.com/stores/snark-tank. It's not a very elegant URL, but that's where the clothes are for now. Seems to be doing pretty well, so thanks for the support on that end. And I guess to kick things off, we should probably talk about the big thing that's happening, even though it's been kind of nauseatingly talked about, which is, you guessed it,
Bussy?
drum roll, Keemstar. Keemstar versus H3. This doesn't stop. This has been going on for how long now at this point?
I thought it was Bussy.
About a
Bussy
week or
was the main
something.
thing.
It feels like years.
I really
You know?
can't stand it anymore. Like I just don't want to. I don't want to hear about it anymore. Like I
It
like
just seems
watching
like
it
they're
'cause I
just
like-
going back. It just seems like they're going back and forth, and I feel like they're going to be ancient by the time they've finished. Like, oh, here's my response to Ethan's 5th video. Oh, here's Ethan's response to Keemstar's 10th video, and it's getting kind of exhausting to keep up with it.
Kind of exhausting. It's been exhausting, my guy.
It's been from the very beginning. It's been unfortunate, especially because the whole president of people, all of these. And let's be real. Let's actually set the real tone here. The reason why this is unfortunate is because stupid people can't help but like say, because look, if Ethan puts his video out and he talks his shit, he does his stuff, whatever, but then people have to get involved, the stupid people of the internet, and be like, hey, we got to hit up G Fuel. Oh, now we got to hit up Old Spice. So who else is sponsored by who? We got to take down everybody. And I'm like, well, you guys are so fucking dumb. You can't just sit down and be spectators. You got to get involved, and it just pisses me off.
Yeah,
People like to feel useful
it's toxic,
to people that they're fans of, and it's very strange. Like, you shouldn't. I guess to feel. I don't know how you could possibly be listening to this podcast and not be aware of what's going on. But just in case you aren't, basically, Ethan dropped this huge video, an exposed video, if I'm going to borrow a term from 2015, on Keemstar. And I think everybody probably knows who Keemstar is at this point. He's kind of a world-renowned jackass. And there's just there's so much video and audio evidence of just Keemstar being like, just kind of like one of the worst people to ever grace the face of the earth. So a lot of the information in Ethan's video isn't necessarily new, but this is the first time it's all been compiled in this sort of way, and it's also the first time that it's really seen really any kind of ramifications. And part of that is because Ethan mentioned Keemstar's main sponsor, G Fuel, and that has kind of started this whole kind of weird war on the internet of like Keem's fans going after H3's sponsors and Ethan's fans going after Keem's sponsors, and it's just this whole fucking sponsor-laden clusterfuck, which, by the way, is, I feel the need to remind everybody, is exactly how the original Adpocalypse started.
Yeah, 100%.
So we'll see how this goes, but
it might not.
That's basically it.
Yeah,
it's super toxic and cancerous, and I hate it because I don't understand why people care so. Like, first of all, I have not been super into the internet, and I know full well that Keemstar has been a piece of shit for a long time. It's no surprise to anyone. That's not new information. He's fucking horrible. He's a bad person. But to have this all going on, like it's so dangerous because I hate to be the person to say this, but I feel like the internet breeds a lot of very bad mentalities into people, that people think that, like, if I don't like this guy, I'm just going to attack things about him to get him canceled and ruined. It's like, you shouldn't, H3 should never have gotten G Fuel involved. That's something he should have never done. He should have never gotten G Fuel involved. You just have to attack the character. Look, I could make a video where I could attack Keemstar's character very well myself. I could just talk about shit he's done and insult him violently. And that's all he had to do. He didn't have to bring anything else in there. He just sucks.
Yeah, I'm of two minds about it, because on one hand, I really don't support the idea that you should go after people's sponsors just because you don't like them. I think that's like a pretty obvious, like, you don't do that. It's just general etiquette. Mainly, not necessarily because it's not a reasonable thing to do, but mainly because the existence of that tactic on YouTube specifically always has more ramifications for other people than it does the people getting involved.
Exactly.
Like I said this. I don't know if I said this on. I don't know if I've said this publicly or anything, but like I know I was having this conversation where I said, basically, Ethan and Hila have a very, very successful clothing line. Like, they're good. Keemstar has his money everywhere. Like, I'm pretty sure that Keemstar's money has investments in, like, the Turkish military and like Kim Jong-un's like clone replacement pod person program. Like, I don't know where the fuck Keemstar gets his money, but I'm certain that most of it is not from Drama Alert. So I think even if G Fuel dropped him, he's also still going to be fine. The people who are really in the crossfire here are people who are like smaller, who do genuinely rely on sponsors who now have this kind of thing opened up to them. So I understand the sponsor argument from that perspective. But I also can't help but have like something in my head that says, maybe don't wear your sponsor's logo on your forehead while you're making all this insane content. Like while you're like threatening people and while you're just being like, hey, you're a pedophile, he, I have no proof, but he. Maybe don't have G Fuel like in the foreground all the time. I feel like that's just basic. Like, if I worked at Sears, right, and I was wearing the Sears uniform, and I went outside, like I was on break, and then I assaulted somebody in the street wearing the Sears uniform, if they heard about that, I'd get fired, and that would be my fault.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? So it's just this weird kind of I don't know where, I don't know how I feel about all this exactly.
I see both of you. I see both the sides because I'm definitely more of the mind. I even talked about it in the video I made about this whole situation. About like, say, hey, you don't know if that extra G Fuel money was funding a part of his team, people that were employed, because that's what a lot of people do. They're like, I'm going to use this money to fund other stuff, and so that's why I feel it's really dangerous to go after people's stuff like that, because it could destroy other people's livelihoods, like kind of like what you were saying. But I do totally understand about. And this is what I said, that I think I would have no problem. I would have zero problem if Ethan made this video, didn't mention G Fuel at all, and G Fuel wanted to cut ties with Keemstar just because of the video itself. I'd be like, well, like, yeah, that's on you, son. Like, your shit got exposed, your dirty laundry is exposed, and now they left because why wouldn't they? I would have zero problem.
Yeah. I know what you're saying.
It was too much pointing at too much pointing at this object, being like, hey, you should do something about this. Hey, look at this, that's there. And they were like, I guess people are like, the internet swarms, so they're gonna fucking obviously cascade G Fuel, and they're gonna be like, all right, we're gonna get rid of them. But then Keem, with his fucking bile fucking dumpster fans, are gonna fucking obviously jump on fucking H3's case and fucking ruin him.
Yeah, have you seen the most recent, I don't even know what number video it is, the video that Keem put out today?
I watched it just now.
I had to calm down.
It was the worst thing I've ever seen in my life.
I had to calm down, to be honest. I had to calm down because I'm gonna record my podcast that I do solo, and I'm gonna talk about that. And I was getting angry because the thing. I mean,
used someone else's video.
Well, he did
his video
so much
to defend himself.
He did so much.
Well, that's I don't see anything wrong.
He did
necessarily
so
with
much
that.
wrong.
Somebody's just making a good point.
But
like I didn't actually finish the whole video. I stopped I stopped so early on because one of the biggest points of contention was Keemstar at one point accused an old man of being a pedophile when there was just no evidence. Like he totally fucked it up. He just ruined this guy's life for like several years straight.
Yeah.
And that was brought up in Ethan's video. And one of the points that Keemstar brought up to kind of defend himself was to point out, well, Ethan also accused people of being pedophiles. Roll it, and he rolls this clip of Ethan talking about how there's like a lot of child molestation in the Catholic Church. And I'm like, what?
Yeah,
how is this an equivalent? This isn't even
it was
close
so
to
bad,
it. And then he goes on,
bro.
and then he goes on to say where it's like, oh, the Catholic Church has done a lot of good. I was born in a Catholic church, and I was like, oh,
that makes sense.
I can't tell you how
plot narrows and the fog lifts, and many things are revealed about Keemstar.
I was just like, all I thought was like, oh, okay, so all those cover-ups are now just the second worst thing that the Catholic Church has done. But I don't know, man. That was like a really bad video.
I don't know.
It's I can't.
Okay, go ahead, Derek. Say it. Spit your piece.
Okay. That particular, because I think we're all in agreement, everybody listening, that the most egregious thing you can do is abuse children. And Ethan was making a joke because he did say, what do they do other than molest children or something? That's obvious.
Yeah.
That's an obvious joke. But people are pretending to have, and this is the thing that makes me so mad about all of this drama. All of these people are trying to pretend that it's about morality. All of them. Everybody is like, oh no, like this person's immoral, this person's immoral. So like, oh, like the Catholic Church, how dare you say anything bad about them? Are you fucking kidding me, bro? The amount of cases, dude, the amount of cases just in a 10-year span. Let's just talk about the 2000s. There was 3,000 priests that were investigated. That's just then. This shit's been going on since the 80s when it blew wide open. And obviously, people were fucking kids in the Catholic Church before then. You know, like,
Probably since the beginning of that whole entire thing.
Yeah.
I mean that.
I don't know what it's so weird. Like is the implication that like he's trying to make it seem like Ethan's saying that every Catholic is a bad person
Yes.
or like a pedophile? Because that's just
It's
that's
a-
so
it's a-
clearly not what's being said.
Yes.
It's
Such
so
a
weird.
Exaggeration. That's such an over like how do I explain it? That's such.
it's an obvious joke.
Yeah, it's a joke. Obviously.
Yeah, the Catholic Church has been a pretty obvious punching bag. It's a pretty easy joke to make, but I mean, it's also like one of the safest jokes you can ever. It's one of the safest targets to use as a form of comedy. Like specifically, I remember like one of the funniest images I remember from back in the day was that Halloween costume of the priest with like a little boy wrapped around his around his waist.
Yeah.
It's hilarious.
That's such a classic,
That's a
like
great one.
offensive Halloween costume.
There's a
It was
few-
like one of the first images that I ever saw on the internet that was like
There's
supposed
a
to be
few
like crude
classics.
shock humor.
There's a few
Dude.
classics, all right?
Yeah.
It's very few go-tos. There's race, there's sexual orientation, and then there's making fun of Christianity. Those are the go-tos for just making
Well,
fun of stuff.
specifically the Catholic Church,
Yeah.
specifically the bureaucracy and the kind of hierarchy of the Catholic Church.
Absolutely.
Like I know plenty of Catholics, you know, and they're fine, but like, how many people do you know who are like really, like no one's. This is also another thing. Like, there are plenty of Catholics in the United States. They have no affiliation with the Catholic Church. You know what I mean? Like they go to church sometimes and they like, you know, they make bagels for like the old people in their neighborhood.
Yeah.
But they're not like going to the Vatican, you know,
That's
on
very
like
true.
you know, they're not really involved in that, but it's still like such a huge. That's a huge scandal that I'm surprised that he would even bring up to defend. because
That's
it's like,
so crazy.
Why would you bring this up?
Such a,
Dude,
he's
even
a-
South
he's-
Park.
He's a kid. He's just a kid.
Yeah, even South Park.
South
Even
Park
it's like,
made
come on.
a good point about it and stuff because it was all of that stuff got exposed. They went through all of this stuff. They got exposed, and then the people that were following, the people that go to church, were like, "All right, that's it. We're atheists now." And you know that because that's how a lot of people felt like, "Hey, how come you guys know about these scandals and you're still supporting the Catholic Church?" So they touched on everything to the point where they even touched on some of the excuses to why these priests or whatever were diddling kids was that, well, it says we can't bang any pussy, so we gotta bang little boys.
We gotta get
That's
some
essentially.
bussy. We gotta get some bussy since we can't get pussy, which I don't agree
insane.
with. I don't agree with at all.
Wow, you're really brave.
I'm just gonna say it. I'm just gonna say it right now. Sweeney anti that. All right, that's not cool.
Here's the thing, Sweeney. The more you say that, the more it sounds like you're trying to save face.
Yeah, I bet
Really?
you're fucking sweating right now, fucking pervert.
I'm not. I don't think I'm sweating. I don't know. I don't think I am.
Sweeney, there's no reason to say, by the way, I'm against fucking children.
Well,
because
they
that's
all-
kind of a given. Like, we just assume that that's
I know,
true.
I know that, but you gotta clarify sometimes, man.
You don't really have to. You don't have to clarify. Are you doing things?
I'm not doing
that I'm not
things.
aware of.
I'm just saying, you know, this world's full
don't
of
know.
fucking people get accused of shit all the time. That poor old man was just playing a video game. Next thing you know,
RuneScape of all games, RuneScape.
just his heart was he probably just has a good heart, genuinely.
He seems
got
like
attacked.
he does. He seems like he does. And in some of the video, and this is fucking gross, dude, because you accuse the guy of being a pedo. To me, it's like no matter whether he forgives you or not, he has that right because you essentially fucked him 7 ways to Sunday. And so all of a sudden Keemstar is saying, see, this guy, his name's Tony. Like Tony, the old man, actually forgave me. And now he's just saying all this stuff to milk it stuff for clout and everything. And I'm like, so fucking what, dude? You can't, like, you accused him of being the worst thing on this earth. This is worse than being a murderer. There people in prison want to kill the shit out of you for diddling kids, and they don't care if you've killed people. They're like, oh, you killed, how many people you killed? Oh, that's it? But if you touch a kid, they want to murder you immediately. And
yeah, it is. It's definitely the worst thing that someone could call you because it's it's just the thing that everybody just kind of unanimously agrees that yeah, that kind of person is like kind of subhuman. Like even the guards, the prisoners, they'll look the other way if you murder a child molester in prison.
This is the thing,
know.
all right? This is the other thing, is that once that is attached to your person, once that is attached to you, it does not go away. Even if it's proven false.
That's very true.
Do anything involving sexual assault, even if it's fake or not, that is what you are labeled as in a community. You are labeled as a person who even had someone think they were doing that, which is obscene and it's terrible. It never just
Yeah,
really
because
goes away.
yeah, because the mere existence of the allegation is suspicious in and of itself.
Yeah.
And in fairness, like I think that's like that's not necessarily an unfair like pre-internet. That's not an unfair lens. I think like if you hear that someone's a child molester, it's like where the fuck would that even come from? You know,
Yeah.
pre-internet.
But
Now it's like one of those things where it's like, oh, you could say fucking anything about anybody now, and it's just like it just gets picked up by some random drama channel.
I agree with you on that, Chris, but I understand what you mean. But the thing is that so many things happen and so many things are blown out of proportion and then they're not communicated right. And people get fucked over for shit like that.
Right. Yeah.
That's why I'm like, you know what? Being a sex offender is the worst. You're the worst kind of person. But the thing is that people get accused of shit they didn't do all the time. Years ago, there was this fucking 19-year-old kid who went on like the early versions of a dating app. It must have been like old school Tinder, like 2008 and shit. And he met up with this girl, and the girl told him that she was 18 years old. So he slept with her, right? And then comes to find out she's like 15 or 16 years old. And that kid got registered as a sex offender. He did time in prison and then got out. And his life is ruined now. Like, shit like that happens, bro. Like,
Yeah, okay.
That's not fake. I'm not saying it happens often. I'm not saying a lot of the cases of people actually sexually assaulting people is lies. I'm just saying, like, that stipulation is not a joke. It will ruin your life. It affects where you move. It affects the things you can acquire. You cannot have things that have internet access anymore. That's it. Gone.
It's actually
Wait, hold on. Is that true? You can't have internet access? That can't be true.
You can't have certain amount of internet access. You can't you can't live in certain radiuses of like where schools are. Which if you live in a city,
I know that, but like they can limit your internet. I feel like internet is so ubiquitous to how we even survive I'm pretty
sure they do, dude. I'm not exactly positive, but I think they do.
I think you're limited to they actually limit you to what you can access. I think that's very true because I know for a fact when 6ix9ine was accused or something of what was it? Like there was like a 13-year-old girl or something and she was like stripping. I can't remember the story exactly, but he got convicted of something. And I think a part of the thing was like, okay, probation, all this stuff, you can't go on Facebook. Like there was a part of it. Like you had to like stay off of certain things because to not, I don't know, to not be tempted, I guess. But
it's pretty crazy.
Like it's fucking madness.
Seems like it would make more sense to just monitor them. Just kind of be like, okay, well, listen, you have no freedom now, and you can use the internet, but we'll be watching, we'll be checking in.
Yeah, something like
weird.
that. I mean, I'm sure they probably do something like that, right? Because how would they stop you?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, they would have to monitor because like you could just easily lie.
But hey, let's on the subject though, that what you're talking about, like say being falsely accused of stuff like that or something like that can be ruining your life. In that video with Keemstar, actually with the old guy, there was another scandal that was being brought up, like the catfishing thing. It said like he got catfished, like some adult male or something supposedly was posing as a young girl, I think underage, and was talking to this old man or something, and he got catfished. And now I don't know if that's true or not. A lot of people are saying that there's no proof other than just what people are putting out there. It might be a lot of people are great men. A lot of people are savvy at photoshopping and using the element thing. What is it called? Inspect Element?
Inspect Element.
Yeah, when you use Inspect Element. And like, so there's a lot of people that do a lot of shady shit to, especially people that really ride for Keemstar, could easily just fake some shit or whatever and be like, see, he was right all along. And I'm just like, dude, why are you going after you sent a haymaker to this old man, and now that he's punching back a little bit, you're like, or trying to bury him. I'm like, dude, you fucked him. Just leave. Just let him be.
Look, he's a kid.
I want to kind of actually, I want to actually connect this to something that we talked about recently, which was there's a video of Keemstar that I found that I just thought was so damningly endemic or like evidential of his just weird power trip kind of personality, where it's just him talking about how he's I have friends at YouTube, I'm untouchable, I have friends at Twitch, I have friends at Twitter, I can destroy you, I can take you off the internet. And he was talking about this, he was talking in reference to some guy that was also just not a particularly great person, as far as I know.
That's right. Yeah, yeah.
But just the fact that somebody exists with that much power and is willing to just sort of flaunt it, like, yeah, you know, I'm untouchable, I can't be touched. How does that not remind you of the Twitch mod that we just talked about, like last week, where she was talking about how, like, I'm on the advisory council at Twitch. You know, I have power now. I'm gonna come for you. I can't be touched. I'm untouchable. It's the same kind of power trip fucking mentality. And dude, listen,
I agree. But
I don't agree. Listen, I don't agree with Ethan going after sponsors. I think that was like a really shitty thing, and it's obviously like ballooning into this insane conflagration that nobody can contain. But Keemstar is genuinely like one of the worst people on the platform, and the platform would be infinitely better without him. And I have no I don't care about saying that. I think it's at this point.
I agree with you too.
At this point, I feel like you'd have to be actually insane not to understand this basic. There's so much evidence of him just doing and saying insane shit that I don't know how somebody could come out and just defend him. Like that dude that he has, that little boy that he has as like his little boy slave, Kavas.
Oh, yeah.
Like it's so, he just constantly defends him, and it's like, dude, man, you don't have to do that. And I know why he does it, because like Keem basically created him.
Yeah, that's
Kavas
right.
would have no career without Keem.
They actually were beefing for a while. They were beefing for a while, dude.
Hold on. What are you saying, Derek?
Oh, I was saying Keemstar and Kavos were beefing for a while back then. That's how I found out about Kavos. And Keemstar was bragging that he made him. Like this is well documented.
Dude, he just takes credit for everything. That's the thing. It's like I saw a lot of people going like, "Oh, Keemstar's my good friend. You know, he visited me at my father's funeral, and he did all this nice shit." And it's like, dude, that's a debt. He's gonna cash that in. That's what he does. He cashes things in. He's like, "How could you turn against me? How could you criticize me for valid reasons? Don't you remember when I did this very, very nice thing for you one time?"
Well, let's put this in. Let's put things.
That's what he does.
Let's put this into perspective.
Because like, let's say you're defending Keem, right? Let's say you're defending Keem, right? If I ever went on, let's say I ever got into a heated argument with somebody online, right? Which I don't, because I'm not 12 anymore. But let's say I did. I would never just start saying the shit that Keem says to people. Like I don't do that. Like he has like fucking also, little kid like explosive arguments with people, and it's like, bro, aren't you like in your 30s, my guy? Like, what are you?
He also he's like this. He's a 40-year-old dude who like brags about doxing people, and it's like, I don't know, man.
There's a few things to take from this though, really, because they say absolute power corrupts absolutely, which is the realest shit. And this is something too that I could even throw a little bit of shade Ethan's way, because there's a pattern of behavior that people express when they know they did something that was kind of not the best move. They really jump to defend themselves. And one thing that I've seen is Ethan like constantly trying to like defend like the Etika thing, because I was like, oh, that was unnecessary to bring up Etika. Like there's a million things you can bring up on Keemstar, and I don't think like say I'm not a fan of using, you know, death as like to throw it in somebody's face or something, because it just, the people that are grieving, they just got, like I said, they got to relive that shit. Like I totally empathize with that. And there's certain things that I'm like,
etiquette thing after you're done, but continue.
Okay. So there's things like that I'm like, okay, what we can do is move forward, just own up to this shit, and then move the fuck on. I think it's as simple as that. Be like, all right, that was distasteful, but it doesn't ruin the major point that Keemstar has been a blight on YouTube, and also something that from learning that a lot of normies that are learning about Keemstar is that he's kind of like the Twitch people that never get banned or suspended for anything. Like they just do shit. Like to the point where Keemstar has been banned from YouTube, but then he just claims somebody else is running it. Somebody else owns his channel, so he's able to be on it, and he has that loophole when you know damn well none of us would ever be able to fucking do that. Like he's gotten to a point where he has enough clout and enough people backing him to where he can just get away with fucking everything. And the last thing I just want to say is that to the people that are defending him, I understand that Keemstar has been nice to a lot of people. I know a lot of people that were shitty to a bunch of other people, but they were nice to me. I know people like that too. The thing is, you have to make that conscious decision to be like, all right, I recognize this guy as a scumbag. Am I going to associate with this scumbag or not? And because you know how they say, like, people kind of judge you on the company that you keep. And so it's one of those things that you kind of have to make that decision. Like, are you going to continue to, like, say, I don't hate Keemstar, to be honest. I recognize that he's a scumbag. I mean, I even said, look, this was probably like 4 years ago when Grade A, Under A, and all those people were making false allegations about him. They were just making up shit. Him and Leafy were just talking shit and making up stuff. And he put out a long video defending himself. Keemstar did. And then I tweeted saying, I don't like Keemstar, but this was a pretty good defense. I said something like that. And then and he liked the tweet, which was weird because I was like, how the fuck are you just searching for your name and seeing who's saying what? It was kind of weird because I didn't.
Of course he is.
So it was one of those things where I'm like, I recognized 4 or 5 years ago that he was a scumbag. And so I'm not friends with the guy. And I feel like the people that are being all buddy, however, they won't be friends with I'm Alex. There's a bunch of people that have a problem with I'm Alex, or I've seen a Bunty King, our friend, get a bunch of shit.
Literally.
And then, like, they're acting like these people are such degenerates, but then they'll be totally buddy with Keemstar. I'm like, get the fuck out of here.
Shit. Like, it's insane. Like, the hate that Bunty got. I even tweeted Bunty personally. I was like, no matter all the bullshit that you're going through, Bunty, you're still my boy, and I love you, dude. Because, like, because, like, say what you want about Bunty. Bunty's a great guy. He's fantastic.
There's a difference between saying things that piss people off sometimes and just being like, I'm untouchable. I can't be touched. I have friends everywhere. I'm so powerful. I can't wait to dox this person. Here's his name, here's his address, and doing it consistently for several years. Like, there's just an objective difference in scumbag.
Even the fact that you do that, like, you should never think of that.
Yeah.
Like, that's insane. No matter how much I don't like somebody, I'm never going to reveal their personal information because people are fucking crazy.
Exactly. And here's the thing, too. It's like, you could say all sorts of shit about me. You could say all sorts of shit about Bunty. You could say all sorts of shit about Derek. You could say all sorts of shit about Sweeney. None of that, even if you compiled all of it in the same list, would amount to even half of the shit that Keemstar has done that's, like, just completely, like, indefensible. And I think that's just math. That's math that people should take into account. Like, it bugs me to see people being like, oh, well, Ethan and Keem are the same. It's like, not really. Not really.
Yeah.
Not even slightly close.
No one's a hero, but one is definitely worse.
And keep in mind, like, yeah, exactly. That's kind of how I feel. And listen, I've met both of these people. I've met Keemstar.
That's right.
I've met Keemstar on 3 different occasions, and he was very gracious to me. I was totally fine. I was like, all right, well, you're here, I guess. I'll deal with this.
I'm so happy I wasn't here that day.
Yeah, he was at our apartment.
happy.
This is the only reason I'm talking about the only reason we're talking about this now, by the way, is because we're moving, and I know that Keemstar can't dox me.
Oh man, that would be bad.
So I've been holding on to it for a while, but I don't know, man. I'm glad, even though, like, a lot of this fallout is happening, that, you know, Ethan probably should have, you know, been a little bit more careful about. I'm glad that this is happening, if only just because I know that there are a lot of people who have a lot of problems with Keemstar who just don't talk about it because they know that he has so much clout and power and he could just kind of crush them.
100%.
And Ethan putting out this video as irresponsible as some of the points were, specifically with Etika, I do agree that it was, like, a bit unnecessary. The sponsor stuff is a bit unnecessary. I think it's given kind of Keem a focal point, like, where he just sort of looks at Ethan and it's like, oh, it's Ethan. And now everybody can just sort of, like, release themselves and just sort of dig into this dude.
Yeah.
Without any real fear, because, like, what is he gonna respond to fucking literally everybody else?
Yeah, and then prove Ethan's points correct by trying to go after all the people that are talking shit now. Like, so it actually, that's one thing that I was surprised in how many people have come out, and I've even seen some people. This was interesting because I saw one of this one girl that's Etika's friend, and she actually is on the opposite end where she's furious at Keemstar even to this day about, like, say, platforming him and when he was having in his manic state and everything. That was my point too. I was gonna make that point also, but continue, Derek. Oh yeah. No, you go. Take it away, man. Take it away.
So for me, I think he was a little too like the thing about it is that what Etika did, that was Etika's choice. So to put that on Keemstar was a bit much. It was a bit much. I wasn't okay with it. But the thing is this, for Keemstar to think that the time to interview someone was immediately after seeing everything he was going through. Right after he got out the hospital, he thought it would be the time to just interview him. And then the comments he was making during that interview and the shit he was saying, it's like, does he not understand what his words mean? Like, I think he has no understanding of his actions. Like, he has no clue.
I don't think so.
Like, he has no clue
does.
what he's saying or what he's doing. He doesn't care. He truly doesn't.
Here's the thing. His content can only exist if there are problems on the platform, if people are fighting, if there is drama, and he has made no effort to hide the fact that he manufactures this stuff. So like when he's interviewing Etika in the height of a manic episode, yeah, that's drama. That's gonna get me clicks. Like that's what he's concerned about. It's kind of ironic that he. It's painfully ironic to me that Keemstar is the kind of person who just doesn't believe that mental illness is a thing, while also being probably one of the most mentally ill people I've ever seen. Like he's definitely like. Listen, I'm gonna make this accusation, and I think it's valid. Keem is 100% a sociopath.
I was gonna say that.
Like without even a slight amount. There's no doubt in my mind, dude.
It wouldn't surprise me at all. It would surprise me less if Hillary was an Eldritch being. Yeah, like Keemstar sociopath. Like, oh yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, there's definitely, I agree, and that's something that we don't throw around lightly, right? But he definitely is on the spectrum of sociopathy. I definitely think that because the way how easily he can flip on stuff like that, where it's not like, say for example, it's not about Etika for him. It's about defending himself from that he's responsible. I mean, the thing is, because I know he never felt responsible at all, but a normal person would feel some sort of guilt, even if they're not guilty. Like, let me give you an example of this girl that I used to I was involved with in 2010. And then we kind of stopped talking around 2012. And then 2013, I was like, I wonder how she's doing. I'll check her Facebook timeline. And then I saw like all these rest in peace things, and she OD'd. And the thing that actually really bummed me out and it kind of like haunted me was I know how important it was for me to talk to her and to like keep in touch with her, because she did have mental health issues that I didn't really understand that much at the time, but I did know how important I was in her life. So I felt so bad when I lost contact with her that like I could have done something. I could have possibly saved her life or something if I would have it's, and I know it's not my fault, but I still can't help but feel like shit when I'm like,
you're
damn.
A human, that's why you have a heart.
Yeah, because that's a human emotion, and it's not a lizard. Fucking, you don't have a lizard cerebrum, so you're able to have those fucking feelings. No, I totally get that.
It makes sense,
and
dude.
I don't know, man. We've talked enough about this.
Yeah,
there's plenty of.
This is officially dead for us now. Like, this is like, we're never gonna bring it up again. You're never gonna hear anything about it.
I wouldn't say that, man, because this shit is still we're still in the midst of this. Something fucking crazy could still happen. So never say never.
I guess
really,
so.
damn it, you're right. You're right.
Something insane could drop, but like,
he drops a video about me, I'll be like, holy shit, thanks.
Wait, what? Ethan makes a video about you? By the way,
you remember Tom Sweeney saying he hates the gays, and I would tweet that out. I would retweet his video.
Hey, okay, well, no, go ahead. Never mind.
I don't know. I guess we can move on. What are some of the other?
Well, you know what?
Some of the other things.
You know what I want to talk about, Chris?
Sure.
So I woke up this morning and I checked my Twitter as I usually do, and I saw some fucking jerk off talking gang loads of shit about you. and then like I saw soon after that you dropped a video on it, so I was like, oh, because I was actually I wanted to talk about it in my other podcast. I'm like, I have seen so much unfair shit levied at your way, like that you're like far right or alt right or something, and I've never seen. You know what it reminds me of, Chris? It reminds me of the people that gave away the okay hand gesture. That they're somebody used it that's a piece of shit. Now it's racist or something, and I'm like,
Wait, what?
You know what I'm talking about, Sweeney?
Like the
you don't.
okay hand, like when you do the okay.
Yes, when you go okay, that is a huge thing. That's a whole story in itself. I'm not trying to get into that. It was just like the people that are talking shit about Chris. They remind me of that because Why don't you break down what happened to you, Chris, recently? Because this has been happening a lot. I remember seeing your Kotaku thing, that article about you.
This happens all the time.
Yeah.
It's just people. I think what happens is like I make content that criticizes specific people, and I thumbnail it in a very eye-catching way, and like I title it in very eye-catching ways. And I think what happens is people see those videos and they assume that it's coming from the same lens as every other video like it, which I think that there's probably a lot. I think it's fair to assume that there's probably like a lot of right-wing content that goes after the deer girl. I think that's probably a fair assumption to make.
Sure, yeah.
Okay.
But the problem is that people just sort of look at the thumbnail and just kind of assume that that's what it is without actually watching. It's insane how many people will just criticize me, not watch the video, and then they'll pretend like they watched it and still just completely miss. But I don't know. Basically, yesterday I received like a bunch of weird notifications about like, hey, this dude's talking weird shit about you, and he was like, and it was about the video I made on the deer girl, which I think was fairly tame, as far as I know. I think especially in comparison to some of the stuff I was making in like 2016, I feel like it's pretty.
You were tripping.
I saw it, and you were. I will say you were unreasonably fair to her. Like
yeah,
unreasonably. Holy shit!
I didn't even include the clip of her. Okay, here's the thing. I didn't name the video Twitch Deer Girl. I didn't put her in the thumbnail. I didn't clickbait her at all, dude. I didn't draw attention to the fact that the video was about her at all.
Yeah.
And I was fair with her criticisms. I didn't even mention the fact that she was like, hey, a lot of gamers are white supremacists. I didn't bring that clip up. I spent maybe a total of 30 seconds max kind of poking fun at the fact that she was a deer. And even then, it was like more about just talking about why it's okay to just sort of poke fun at somebody who thinks this kind of insane shit while also having a power trip. And this dude just sort of went off on it and just sort of levied a lot of criticisms that I'd been getting for a long time. And so I was like, oh, well, here's an opportunity to make money. I could just respond to this. is literally what I thought. I was like, I need to make another video. I'm feeling like an itch to make a video, but I don't have anything to talk about. And I didn't have anything that was ready quite yet. So I saw this guy and I was like, okay, well, these are a lot of criticisms I've been getting sporadically for the last like several years, and they're all contained in this one Twitter thread. So let me just make a video and address it. And it's doing pretty well. It's the video's doing well. So thanks, dude. Thanks for the money.
Thanks for the money.
Seriously, like it's doing pretty good.
Well, these people are so silly.
I sold a boatload of shirts off it already.
Nice. Dude, these people are so fucking silly, man. They're so silly.
This never ends.
I remember one time, actually I can't remember what the video was, but I took a nuanced approach to it. It might have been something that, most of I would say the reactionary content, they're all mad about everything, and I was like, why are you guys freaking out about this? Like, what do you even care? You don't even consume this? I think it was one of those angles. I think I remember what it was, but I can't be too sure. It might have, but what happened was, a bunch of thumbnails were collected by, I can't remember, she has red hair on Twitter, and she's like a feminist. I can't remember what the fuck her name is, but she collected a bunch of thumbnails, and then one of them was mine, and then somebody tagged me and said, actually, some black guy's take on it was really good. And then she said, well, I wouldn't know because I didn't watch it. And I'm like, what the fuck, man? Like,
dude, they just don't. It's always true. It's straight up always, because nobody can watch the videos and come away from them, unless you're like really just far gone. No one can watch them in good faith and like interpret them the way that these people interpret them. It's pretty fucking wild.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They can't. It is impossible to watch one of your videos and come away with, well, this guy's far right. Well, this guy.
What's
What's
weird about it?
What's up?
weird about it is that I think the main catalyst for the backlash, if you could even really call it, it's not really that much, but it was. I went on a stream. I went on Vosh's channel, and Vosh is like a left-wing dude. He does a lot of like left-leaning political streams and stuff like that. And I went on his channel just to kind of talk about stuff, and it was just kind of like a I don't want to say like an Oprah style interview, but it was just kind of like we were just talking about stuff. And I was talking about how, I wish I, like, in the past, like, I wish I had, like, worded things better, because I'm sure that some people used my content in ways that I didn't want it to be used. And I guess for some reason that tracked in their heads as, like, an apology. And they were like, oh, well, I don't buy his apology. And it's like, dude, I never apologized.
Yeah.
I'm not saying sorry. I think those videos are funny as hell.
Oh yeah.
I think they're still funny.
Oh yeah.
The difference is, like they don't really want, because even I was talking about how, like, the musicals were just completely taken out of my hands, and that's kind of the problem with musicals, or music in general, is that the intent of the writer is often just sort of completely done away with the second it's out in the wild, and people can just sort of interpret it however the hell they want.
Yeah.
And when I realized that was happening, I stopped making the musicals, because I was just like, I just don't want to deal with this. I don't want to be people's fucking political anthems, Like, that's not fun for me.
I feel you.
So I stopped for like 3 years, and they were like, oh, well, he should have stopped. And it's like, what are you talking about? What stopped me? I haven't done it for 3 years. What are you talking about? The thing is, it's like, and this is the main thesis of the video that I made, was that the people who I'm talking about, who go after shit like this, who like demand apologies, they don't actually want the people that they're demanding apologies from to change and be better and grow as people. They just kind of want the apology. They don't want the functional purpose of that apology that entails of, like, the person growing and changing and adapting to the world around them. They just want the words so that they can feel special or feel groveled to.
Yeah, they want.
I fucking hate it.
They want the power of you kneeling before them and saying "I'm sorry," opposed to you actually growing and changing from what happened. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and I'm just not going to do that because I don't value that. I don't value, even when people, like, this happens a lot on YouTube in general, like even just outside of my sphere, outside of our sphere, where people will demand people to apologize for things, and it's like, what are you doing? Like, if you demand an apology from someone and they apologize, that's not an apology.
That's it's a forced interaction right there.
You're making them the best apology is one that isn't demanded, and one that isn't coaxed out of them, because that means it's a real apology. It means that they're like, okay, I'm really sorry, I feel bad, here's it, and they didn't need to be accosted into apologizing. Otherwise, you just want the words. You just want the words, and it's just so fucking lame.
I literally don't apologize unless I mean it. I literally don't. Like, I don't say I'm sorry, because what happens is when you say I'm sorry so often, like, I worked in retail until maybe like a month ago, until I quit and started doing fucking Twitch and shit. And like, I had to say I'm sorry so often when I didn't mean it. And it started fucking up that phrase to me. It started really messing with it, to the point that, like, there'd be times when I would say it and I'd be like, I didn't mean that at all. And I would out loud say, I didn't mean that. I didn't mean that at all. I'm not sorry about what I did.
Yeah.
Because it's insane. And like, now I've
corrected people. Where, like, I've corrected people where, like, I've caught myself saying I'm sorry, and I would go back and I would say, like, I didn't mean that, I'm sorry. I would apologize for the fake apology.
I'm sorry, I lied.
Because I meant being sorry about the fake sorry more than I was actually sorry.
Look, we should do an exercise right here. So, look, I know you had to be fake sorry all the time because you're at a retail job, Sweeney.
Yeah, what's good?
But let's say, how would you really handle a scenario? Like, say if you were like an angry customer, you got like the wrong type of milk in your coffee or something or whatever the fuck, and then Sweeney, you're complaining to him, but Sweeney, how would you react as yourself?
Okay, let's hear it, Chris. Let's bring it on.
So wait, so what's the scenario? I'm a customer at like Starbucks or something.
Yeah, you're an angry customer at Starbucks, and you got the wrong. You got fucking two 2% instead of whole milk in your coffee or something.
All right.
You gotta lay it on thick, Chris. This is gonna be hilarious.
All right. Excuse me.
Yeah. How may I help you?
Excuse me. Hey, listen. So I ordered this coffee for like $900. Your stupid expensive menu. And listen, I want real milk in my coffee.
Okay.
You gave me 2% goat milk.
Okay.
And I'm pretty sure there's hair all over it.
All right.
Pubes, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay, cool.
And I would really prefer to see the manager about this.
Well, I'm currently the acting manager on the floor. I'm sorry about fucking up your drink or whatever, but we'll get you a new one real quick. If you want to just go wait at the next counter, we'll get it fixed for you. You go on.
No. It's not good enough. I want you strung throughout the streets with your entrails paraded through the city.
Okay, well,
I want you
okay.
nailed to a cross, and I want little goblins tearing at your feet and stabbing you in the side like Jesus was when he was on the cross. Remember that scene, that famous scene from the crucifix when he's on the cross?
So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make your drink, then I'm gonna stir it with my penis, flaccid, not even erect, flaccid penis, and I'm gonna spit it and hand it to you afterwards. So you can wait at the next counter. You're not gonna get a non-dick touch drink. So I'm my bad about that. You can do whatever.
Okay, thank you.
All right, bye. Have a good one.
All right, thanks. What if that's the whole goal?
She just wanted me to stir the coffee with my penis.
Dude, we've been misinterpreting fucking angry customers this entire time. They want this shit.
Dude, it's
Yeah,
I
maybe
would
that's
love it.
maybe that's actually it's like I'll pee in this bitch's drink and then she'll drink it. It's like pee.
Yes.
Holy shit, we might have discovered something really important about some of the psychos we see on YouTube all the time.
We might have actually that person might have actually broke down a wall in psychology.
Because if you think about it, most horrible shit that exists has something to do with some sort of psychosexual response, right? Like I feel like murderers get I feel like serial killers probably get like some kind of
Arousal.
sexual thrill out of just sort of out of taking a human life. They kind of like, oh man, this feels amazing, right? I would imagine that's probably.
I can't even imagine them being real sometimes. So I don't know what to say.
Yeah, I just feel like anything that compels people to act like complete Neanderthals is probably linked to some fetishistic shit. So it would make total sense to me. Or even just a more common one is just like being talked down to. You know, like people will just speak up and be assholes. That's like a brat thing, right? That's like in like BDSM, it's like if you're a brat, you just kind of like, oh no, I won't, you know? And then the fucking other person's supposed to just punish you or whatever.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of fucking like Karens at movie theaters complaining about like, oh man, I wanted to see fucking Surf's Up and
Surf's Up.
Oh man, only thing in the theaters right now is Inglourious Bastards. I wanted to see Surf's Up. Fuck, I'm so angry right now.
Good lord.
Yeah.
We might have completely broken new ground here.
That's real shit, man.
I expect my payment in gold. I don't want fucking paper money. I want fucking gold. You know, we should go back to the gold standard too while I'm talking about shit like that. Fuck paper money. We need to go back to the
Ron
gold
Paul.
standard,
Okay,
right?
listen, let's calm down.
I'm angry. That's it. I'm talking about it now.
The
Talking
Federal
about it.
Reserve prints out money and attaches debt to it, and we are forever in debt.
Exactly.
And we need a revolution, and we need to get the
What?
fucking fluoride out of the water. God damn it!
Lyle would love this conversation
burn
because Lyle is
down.
always screaming. Lyle is always screaming about gold and how you should buy gold.
Gold is
I'm pretty sure he
worth
has a
something
mattress
for
full of
real.
gold.
I mean, precious metals is worth kind of a lot. Like gold on
worth
the
a ton
ounce is
now.
it's a lot of fucking money.
Yo, gold is with a shit ton now, man. Trust me, we should go back to the gold standard, man. I know that printing money helped get us out of the recession and blah blah fucking blah, but we need to go back to the gold standard. Suck my dick.
I would rather move forward into a Mass Effect sci-fi system where we just kind of have
We have
credits,
credits.
and it's just all
Based on what?
It's all just hype.
Like it'd be based in like our phones or some shit. We'd have credit. We already have that actually, pretty much.
No, what do you mean based on what? What do you
Like
mean?
we would have our credit. Like instead of using like paper currency, we would just go to credit, right?
We would just have credits, like Mass Effect credits.
we already have credits.
Any amount of money that you've ever seen in a sci-fi universe.
But we already have that though, sort of. Not really, but sort of.
Well, we haven't gone all the way with it.
Yeah, we should go all the way with it.
I
Let's
say we go back and use Abraham Lincoln greenbacks. I say
What the fuck is that, Derek?
it is the money that Lincoln was trying to make before he got his head blown off.
Before he got thwacked.
Wait, he was trying to make. I have to look. What are you saying?
Okay,
back.
so
Yeah,
no,
that's
okay,
true.
so yeah, Lincoln was trying to, for the same reasons, kind of like taking the money back and giving it to the treasury and not having it like running through a central bank. He was trying to do that, and then miraculously, John Harvey Oswald Booth or whatever the fuck blasted him with a fucking machine
Domed
gun
him.
at a play.
Fucking dome.
Tommy gun.
A Tommy gun.
Yo, honestly, for real, I want you to imagine for just a brief moment the fear that would be struck into the hearts of people back then by the fucking sound of a Tommy gun going off. Like, that is probably that dragon levels of just.
I feel like it
What
be
is
Dragons,
happening?
it would
Dude,
be
what
like,
is
what
that?
The fuck, that's next level. They would have.
Yeah.
They would take it and reconstruct it. They'd be like, yo, this, we need mass of this. We need a lot of that.
Yeah,
That's fucking crazy. I didn't know he tried to make his own fucking money. That's insane.
Yeah, he was
had
trying
a
to-
lot of big brain ideas, man. He was like apparently like really like to the South. He was like, either you guys are gonna get on the fucking bandwagon of fixing this country, or we are going to fuck you. We are going to take everything you guys have. And then
You know
he
what?
died.
You know why?
And
You know why he was so smart?
Why?
Because he was so tall and his brain had like a
Enough
better
air.
connection.
he got enough. He got a really good amount of air because he was so high up. So he got like really, really crisp air. So he was able to think so much.
Yeah, I'm getting all the fucking garbage air.
You know, the fucking extra fucking heavy air that's falling down. He's getting
Have-
all the
Dude,
fucking,
man.
Have you seen
crisp
pictures
air.
of Lincoln, man? Like that guy's a fucking, he's a hairless yeti, dude. Like he's
Who?
Have you seen
Lincoln?
pictures of him?
He was tall.
Like you see the pictures of him, but he's tall. I mean, he's tall like for back then, right? Because he was probably like 6'3" or 6'4". But if you just
Yeah.
look at his face, like if you just put hair on his face, he's a fucking yeti.
He
Like,
looks
he's
rugged.
I'm pretty sure Abraham Lincoln had Marfan syndrome.
What's that?
That's like it makes you just like fucking tall and alien like. It makes you like it makes you a gray.
He looked like
Oh no
Slender Man.
shit.
He looked like Slender Man.
think
but a
so.
human.
No, you're probably right.
I feel like Lyle told me this as like a joke and I just accepted it as fact without even questioning it.
Yo,
But
sometimes you gotta do that, man.
You're probably right because when I look at pictures of him, like there's actually a picture on the internet of like a photo was taken. So who knows how long he was standing around when photos were just being invented. You had to like stand for like fucking 30 minutes for it to actually like work or something. But like it's haunting. It just looks, there's something about it that it's worse than any of that Slither siren head bullshit. Like it's so unsettling, man. It's so unsettling. Like
yeah.
I don't know how people trusted him. Like he just seemed so like he was
I don't know how people trusted him.
I just
The
I
man
don't know,
that
man.
Freed the slaves. Derek, did you just say that is hilarious to me? Look, all I'm
It's just
saying is that
his heightness. His heightness was just like
heightness.
scary. Like I think that's fair. I think anybody who's out of the average realm of what people expect to see in a human being, like they're generally kind of either it goes both ways. They're either really seedy and untrustworthy or either the most inspiring people you've ever seen.
for
You know what I
me,
mean?
if
True.
you
Where it's like
if you can
where
do
it's like you
something-
could have somebody like Napoleon who's like really short and he just like guides this crusade across Europe.
Dude, he
and
fucked
just
everyone up.
somehow manages.
He fucked
What?
everyone up, man. That shit is impressive. Yeah, I agree totally.
I feel like he also wasn't short. I
No,
feel
he-
like I read
no,
that
he- no,
recently
he
where
definitely
he
was
actually
short.
wasn't short for the time.
Well,
something?
there were people were he was still short. Yeah, but he just like say if you saw him now, he's probably not much shorter than us. You know what I mean?
Then you
like, he was
guys,
prob-
you guys are fucking peewee people. That's why.
I
He's
mean-
5'6".
He said he's
Quite a bit
5'6".
shorter than me.
Napoleon's 5'6".
Fucking
Yeah,
bullshit. Really?
yeah.
Just look that up. You just looked that up and it said he's 5'6".
Yeah, well, listen, I'm not going to say that Google can't lie to me, but that's what I'm seeing, and I'm choosing to believe that that's probably true.
That's fucking crazy because yeah, I'm literally 5'6", so never mind.
yeah, either his skeleton was 5'6", which means he's probably like 5'7".
Dude, what the fuck, man? That's not even. I guess as far as leaders go, that's short. I think that's maybe that's what that is.
Maybe, yeah. Like he's probably the shortest like warmonger.
Yo, what if
You
the
know.
Huns were tiny, bro? Could you imagine? If
Yeah,
the
what's his
Huns
height?
Were really
They
fucking
probably
smart.
were.
Attila
So
the
which
Hun?
one? Like Attila?
Attila?
Yeah, look
Yeah.
at Attila and see how let's see how tall Attila is.
I can't find his height.
Yeah,
This
it would
height,
be.
They assumed. I don't know. Whoa.
It's too old. It's too old. They wouldn't know this shit.
Yo, he was getting shit done, bro. He was
No. Well, let's look at Genghis Khan. Let's look at Genghis Khan
What the
because he was.
fuck? Attila the Hun? No way. No, fuck off. This is some bullshit.
What?
This says, I don't know where this information came from, but this says Attila the Hun was below 4'11". Are you hearing me? Hello?
I'm here.
What happened? Why did everybody go silent?
I've heard you the entire time.
Oh, I went silent? What the fuck?
I mean, I heard you the entire
digitized.
time saying Attila the Hun is under 4'11".
Holy
Yeah.
shit! Really?
Yes. That's what this says. I don't know how
I can't.
reputable forums.civfanatics.com is.
Dog, he's shorter than my girlfriend,
you-
dude. I wouldn't beat his ass. He's probably a warrior. He's probably a trained fighter. Like, I'd probably throw a punch at him. He'd probably stab me in my knuckles. So
That's some Gimli shit, dude. That's like some Lord of the Rings, like combat dwarf stuff.
Are you guys aware
Yeah.
of Big Ed from 90 Day Fiance? Have you seen that guy?
Oh, the guy with the neck?
The mayonnaise neck dude? Yeah.
He
Like
looks
imagine,
he
because
look-
I think that guy's 4'11". So
he looks like the fucking what's the name of it? He looks like Humpty Dumpty, but a person, dog. It's so fucking
Yeah.
terrible. He looks like an egg that was given arms and legs and sentience and money. So he's.
I don't know
doing
what
better
to
than
make
me.
of that guy because like I keep hearing that he's actually kind of a terrible person.
he's a bit of a piece of
But
shit. I got to admit, my guilty pleasure is watching this one reality show.
I can't.
It's,
do a reality
90 Day
show.
Fiance.
Yeah, these people are. Look, I gotta give props to these producers, man. They find the worst people on earth. Like, say, if Keemstar wanted to date somebody overseas, they would fucking cum their pants and be like, "This guy's perfect. This is
This
amazing.
will get us numbers.
We got
We
him,
need numbers.
ladies and gentlemen. We got him because they find these people. You can't believe them. How do they do this? They have to have trained professionals that are like psychologists or whatever of reading profiles of these people and interviewing them because they're so fucking stupid and they're so crazy. And then they found that little short mutant egg, and it's just like,
Oh my god.
he's
So
the hit,
fucking
man.
weird. It's so weird. Like, first of all, I can barely date someone that lives near me, let alone date someone from a different country that I've never met. That shit's so fucking wild to me. Like,
Well,
Yeah,
I don't know, man.
I don't know if I could handle. The thing is, it's like tedium, like just the existence of any tedium really frustrates me. Like tedious shit
Yeah.
bothers me more than big shit. If I went out to like I don't know get my mail or something, or if I went out to like drop something off at the post office and I came back and my apartment was gone and all my belongings and all my papers were gone, I feel like I would just be like, ah, man, this sure is a thing that's happening, isn't it? And then I would immediately start living this new exciting life. But like, if I found out that like, oh hey Chris, you got to go to a wedding in like 6 hours, that would destroy me. I would be so distraught. I would be so sad. I'd be like I'd be drinking in like the bathroom, be like, why is this happening to me? So the thought of like explaining every day the little cultural things that like we all just kind of intrinsically know, like, oh no, that's not necessarily what shit means. It's like sometimes it's like, oh, this is the shit that kind of means like it's cool, and like just the thought of explaining all that would drive me into a fucking furnace. I couldn't do it.
Well, I mean, I totally understand, and I've definitely, it's not great because I've given that shit like a shot, right? I've done that, and it's
in fairness to you, like people that you date are typically like still like this is nothing like I've dated girls from like, you know, Slovenia and like Europe and stuff,
Yeah.
but it's like
You dated foreigners, but they were here.
but it wasn't like in 90 Day Fiance where like they barely kind of understand, you know, like guiding like a new human being through America is like something that I would never.
Oh, yeah,
It's
no
like
way.
sick of them
No
always
way.
like being in awe about all the shit I already have. It's like, get used to it. This is America. We're the fucking best. All right, let's get a move on.
Jesus Christ, this is so fucking hostile.
But like, I don't know. I can't. I've never dated. I've never dated a foreigner. I've dated people who were obviously families come from different countries. But I never dated a girl that was foreign. I've like interacted with those kind of girls, but I've never dated one of them. And I've always been like very leery to that because I can't deal with foreign cultures really well because of the fact that
you're racist. Yeah,
I'm not racist. That has nothing to do with race. It's
okay.
a culture thing at that moment.
Okay.
Yeah, sure.
I can't even date other fucking Caribbeans because I'm so American.
Yeah.
You're a gremlin. You're a gremlin.
Yeah, the culture shock shit, dude.
It's fucking weird, dude.
Yeah. I wouldn't be able to. I probably wouldn't be able to handle that myself. That's why there's this been like little subtle differences of like the women that I dated that were like not from here. It wasn't a big deal. It was like, okay, yeah, whatever. You already speak fluent English, probably better than me. Fucking everything's chill. There's no weird like, oh, I can't believe like say I can't imagine going to a fucking hut or something, and then or not like say one of this old ass broad on that show is in I think Nigeria, and say they shower with a bucket, like a bucket's filled with water. And then it's like cold water, obviously. And then I was like, nope, I can't. Nope. Like this is America. Like I need showers at all times. I'm sorry. Like I can't fuck with that shit ever.
We're very ignorant.
Yeah,
Oh,
100%.
absolutely.
We're very privileged, really.
I try to praise myself on how socially conscious I am, but I know I'm just I know I'm a nigga. I know what I am. I'm not hiding what I am. What I've been my whole life.
Yeah, I'm not gonna pretend. Like I don't like to think that I'm posh necessarily, where like, oh, I need like every convenience that exists, but like certainly like showering with a bucket is one of those things where it's like, I would definitely prefer not to be doing this.
Yeah, like for a month I had to wash my clothes by hand because my washing machine broke. And my grandma was like, I don't feel like... She had like a whole entire, like, you've seen one of the fucking foldable, like, drying racks. You've definitely seen one. You're Puerto Rican.
Dude, I'm not even kidding. Like, when you said I did my laundry by hand, like, I felt the hairs on my neck stand up.
Yeah.
Like, that was like a poltergeist touched me on my shoulder.
You've definitely seen one. You've probably seen one too, Derek. It's like a fucking laundry rack. And my grandmother showed me, she had this, like, fucking washing board thing. And
Oh
she
my
got this thing
God.
called brown soap. And I was like, what the fuck is happening? And she was like, this is how you do it. And I was like, how the fuck did you survive like this? What are you people? You're savages.
What are
You guys
you?
are fucking savages.
Just washing clothes by hand. You fucking savage.
Dude, you guys are animals. You're animals. You had to get
What
your
do you
own
think-
water. You
What do you think?
beast.
Hold on. What do you think is something that we do today that we consider like pretty advanced? That's or relatively advanced that like in that our kids would call us savages for.
Masturbation.
Oh, no. What?
sure.
What? That's never gonna
I feel
stop.
like it's
no.
not gonna be the same at all. I feel like the way
It's
we
our-
do it is gonna be really. You guys don't go and fuck cyborgs built to design your pleasure. You guys
You
don't.
used to use your hands.
Oh my,
You
ew,
fucking
ew,
barbarians.
you fucking touch things with your hands. You know that resin doesn't go away. You guys are fucking animals. You chimps.
Yeah, that's actually a good point. Actually,
I mean, yeah,
that actually might
I just
happen.
explained it.
Dude, but for real, it's already starting to happen. Bidets are getting installed in everybody's homes now. People are starting to ditch toilet paper. It's slowly starting to happen already.
Well, bidets
So
are
our
old
kids,
things, dude.
Well, of course they're old things, but we're barely catching up.
I've used them before, and it's terrifying.
Well, I don't like. Where was I? I think I was at a friend's house. He had one installed and shit. And it had like, it was awful because it wasn't like the way that all these fancy people are describing that the seat it warms the seat, the water's warm. This was just some ice cold shit just shooting you in the ass, and I'm like, this is the fucking worst. Like, why do you want to use this? Like, just
It's like Guantanamo.
I used one and I was terrified. I was just like, what the hell is happening? I literally jumped off the toilet because I was like, what's going on? And then I had to get used to it. And then like I was like, all right, cool. This isn't the worst thing, but I don't like it.
I'm with it, man. I'm welcoming that switch when it's like completely normal. Like I've been seeing this sponsor, I forgot what they're called, but it's like $80 now, whatever the fuck it's called. But I've been seeing a lot of podcasts talk about it, and it's like $80 to install, and then it's simple. And I'm like, I'm with it, and I'm with it because it'll make ass eating much more accessible and much more like, say, because that's a process, man. If you're gonna do that, you got to make sure she's had a shower. You know what I mean? You got to make sure if you're gonna get down and dirty like that.
I've never done that because that's just beyond the realm of extreme that I'll go to. It's just beyond
that is.
me. It's like
You guys are fucking.
That is listen. That is quite literally beyond the rim.
No, that's within the rim. That's within the rim. That's dwelling in the rim.
Yeah, that's not. See, I don't. That's not what's happening though. I think you guys are being a little mature right now. Like no one's fucking sticking their tongue, like literally inside beyond the fucking rim.
I understand that, but like,
do
that's
you?
Just a little. That's like just not my thing, you know.
I understand. I understand it's not your thing, but to me, look at this is my thing. Like, say, I'm sure you've had a girl fucking, you know.
Put a thumb up there, maybe.
No, not even that. I wasn't even going there.
Maybe a thumb, maybe a size 14 Nike fucking Air Force One. Maybe I dabble, okay? But I'm just not doing that.
Maybe some Tims.
Maybe a pair of Tims. But you know, it's I'm not going there, okay? That's not me.
Yeah, you ain't gonna eat that ass, but you definitely have had some Tims in that ass. Okay, gotcha.
So what? I'm strange. I'm different from everybody.
Bitch, I wasn't even talking about that. I was just gonna say real quick that obviously our nuts get extremely sweaty and dirty like fucking immediately, and you like girls have definitely gone down in you and fucking have gobbled those shit. What I'm saying is though, but what you do, you clean yourself up before you do that.
Of course,
you just clean yourself. It's the same principle. Clean your fucking body.
If you respect the person that's doing it, obviously you clean yourself.
That's true because there's actually like fucking there's stories of Motley Crue having a what do you call it? A competition of how long they could go without showering and just banging chicks on the road. And that is, I mean, I expire, dude, like fucking after like 12 hours. I'm like done. Like after like 12 hours pass by, I'm like, yeah, you know, I could probably use a shower pretty soon. So I can't imagine. Yeah. I can't.
I used to take showers. I used to take 2 showers a day.
When I was an athlete, I used to do it. Like whenever I go to the gym, I shower when I wake up usually, and then like when I go to the gym, I have to shower again. Or if I'm outside and it's hot, I have to shower again. That's it.
Yeah. That's a reality of LA. Yeah. Like I definitely like shower more here than I did in New York because in New York in New York you could I feel like you could get away with it because it's so cold and you're just not sweating really for like half the year. So like you could go like a day or two without showering in New York and you're probably all right.
That makes sense.
But like
until
here is like impossible. You have to shower like 3 times a day here in fucking Los Angeles.
Bro.
Yeah.
Summer in New York gets gross. I just
summer but like summer in New York. But summer in New York is also like, you know, it's hot, but it's not unavoidably hot.
I guess if you have like central air, which I had, so yeah.
Yeah. Oh, so you're fine.
So yeah, I feel you.
I'm in my apartment right now, and like the sun is, my window's too far away for me to fucking close, but I'm baking in the sun right now. My back is peeling as we're speaking.
Yeah, my room is tiny right now, and it's just a hot box. I'm hot as shit right now, and every time we're finished doing the podcast, I have to shower, which is fucked up.
Same.
I'm sitting down, like I'm not doing anything. Yeah,
it's ridiculous. But anyway, so one of the topics that you suggested in our little Discord thing, I hadn't heard of this. So I would love to get some insight on this. Alex Jones is saying that Joe Rogan is going to war with YouTube.
Yes. This is great, man. So I knew it was bullshit. So we all know that Joe Rogan signed, and this is it's reportedly he signed a $100 million deal. A multi-year, $100 million deal with Spotify. And so Joe at the end of 2020 is going to be exclusively on Spotify. And I just learned that Spotify has video on it already. I didn't even know that because I saw some people that are like, oh, what the hell? What about the video? And he announced live that nothing's going to change. Even the video is going to transfer. And I saw somebody in the comments saying, well, there's already video. I just watched a video today. And I was like, well, fuck me. I had no idea. So that's actually kind of cool. And fuck, I wouldn't mind getting an exclusive fucking deal with Spotify because YouTube pisses me off too. And
Yeah.
so YouTube is a piece of shit, and Joe recognized that, and he wanted to take this opportunity to jump ship and maximize his profits. And the thing is, he called Alex Jones, which is true, because Alex went on his. This is how I saw it. I saw Paul Joseph Watson tweet about it, and I was like, bullshit. That Alex is like, oh, Alex says Joe's going to war, and I was like, what? So I found a clip on YouTube, and I downloaded it real quick before it got scrubbed. And he's just started saying all this wild shit. Yeah, Joe was just fired up. It's like, yeah, man, I'm going to war. Like, I don't give a fuck and all this stuff. And I was like, that doesn't make sense because Joe is keeping his clip channel up. He's going to still upload clips to YouTube because that's a part of the deal. Like, say, he's exclusive to Spotify except for he is allowed to upload clips on YouTube. And so why the fuck would he go to war with YouTube? Like, they'll just, tank his shit. That doesn't make financial sense. And secondly, why the fuck would Joe Rogan tell Alex Jones to be like, yeah, tell your audience this, man, but I'm not going to mention this on my podcast at all. And
Yeah.
he hasn't said it once. And then Joe did a podcast with David Pakman, and he just mentioned briefly passing by in their entire 3-hour podcast, like, oh yeah, Alex said I was going to go to war with YouTube. I never said that. And then that was it. I was just laughing my ass off. Because Alex was ranting for a good 8 minutes or something.
I love Alex Jones'
of course.
rants, man. It's so much passion, and he really I feel like he really believes the shit he's saying, and it's just like, man, bro,
He has to, because
terrifying.
I was almost convinced when I even heard Alex talking about it, because he was so passionate about it, and he was really making up a conversation that supposedly happened between them. You know, it seemed genuine, but I'm like, at the same time, I'm like, that's the stupidest fucking thing ever. Joe wouldn't do it. Why, Joe, with his platform, as large as his platform is, he's going to be like, I'm going to call you Alex Jones and you tell your fucking shadow banned audience about this. That's how we're going to get the word out. Like, what the fuck? I don't know, man.
It is really weird. That is cool though that he's moving to Spotify. I mean, that's not surprising. YouTube sucks. It's not nearly as fun as it used to be. It's not nearly as open as it used to be. It's all just this really vapid shit. Like, do you remember back in the day? Like, back in the day, I feel like really genuinely hardworking people did really well. Like, I remember people like Julian Smith, who would make those basically those short films was exploding.
Oh yeah,
fucking Mystery Guitar Man.
Yeah,
back in the day. Do you remember him?
Sure. Yeah,
that's a throwback.
Mystery Guitar Man's old as shit, but he would make these he would record every single note on a guitar and just sort of make songs and symphonies out of those clips with editing and shit. And there were so many cool fucking people just making awesome shit. And then the 10-minute thing happened.
Oh yeah.
As a response to the Reply Girl stuff. This is old school YouTube, by the way. This is
the 10-minute thing?
Okay, so for those of you who might not be super YouTube savvy, back in the day, YouTube paid based on the views it got. So if you had something that hit 1 million views, no matter how long it was, it would make a lot of money. And basically the site was kind of plagued with this thing called Reply Girls, and it was just girls in low-cut shirts naming their videos responses to very, very popular videos with the same titles. So the video, let's say a Psychic Pebbles animation plays, and it's a minute and a half because animation takes a long time to do, and asking for a 10-minute animation is insane. That video would get a lot of views, it would get a lot of money, and it would do really well for Zach and any animator who was doing it. And then the next video that was in the recommended has the same title, but it's a girl in a low-cut shirt, and it would draw people to click on it, and they would just say haha, this was funny, I loved this, and then it would be over. The video was 10 seconds, rarely over a minute, rarely over 40 seconds, but because it had so many clicks based on the clickbait thumbnail and the same title, they would get just as much money.
I got you.
And because of those people,
I'm guessing, huh?
Huh?
That was the beginning of that whole clickbait shit, actually.
Well, kind of. I mean, clickbait technically has always existed. That's like newspapers have always clickbaited technically, if you want to get real technical about it. But that was the start of it on YouTube, and like that eventually made YouTube be like, okay, well, listen, to combat this, we're going to base our ad revenue off of watch time. So basically, you have to have a certain amount of minutes watched on a video before you can make a decent amount of money off it, which obviously those Reply Girl videos were destroyed by that because no one's going to watch all 40 seconds of a Reply Girl video. They're going to click on it. They're going to be like, oh, this is bullshit. And then they're going to click off. So it did have the effect of getting rid of the Reply Girls. But at the same time, it also meant things like Psychic Pebbles and things like animation and short films and stuff that took a long time to make. It meant that was no longer viable, because what was viable now is long form content that's over 10 minutes that you can make easily and very quickly, which is the reason Let's Plays exploded back in the day.
Yeah,
they're still pretty.
So
big,
that's kind
honestly.
of like
they're not as small as I
yeah.
thought they would be.
Well, that's kind of the history of it, and that's kind of still the model that we have now. It's gone through some slight changes, but that's still generally the case. Where like if a video is going to make money, it has to be over 10 minutes, and it has to have pretty good audience retention in order to be viable. So that's just a brief history of all that.
Yeah,
I forgot even what we were talking about that got us into this.
Same.
yeah, because I was actually, it was really interesting to kind of hear that recap, because I haven't thought about it in a while, and it's actually, it's gotten even worse too, because now the average, especially because of what like say people like Storytime and because they're able to put out shit every day. And it can be like almost like an episode, because people aren't watching TV anymore. So they're replacing a lot of YouTube with television. So they expect a video to be an hour long, 30 minutes, 20 minutes, whatever, and frequently. And so that's just much worse for people like animators and whatnot. And
yeah. And this is why, by the way, people go to podcasts, because it's a reliably easy to make long form bit of content that is easily sustainable. It drives its own audience. It's the best format, and this is why so many people jumped to that ship.
yeah,
It's just the most business savvy way, because like there's just no way that your average like ad revenue is garbage right now. I'm pretty sure for most people
it's the worst.
but especially for anybody who's even slightly controversial.
yeah, it's
So
completely
it's just
ugh.
getting worse. So yeah, it makes sense that Joe Rogan would just fucking fuck off.
Yeah. Oh, totally. Because I know he was losing money when he shouldn't be losing money. YouTube's copyright system, their DMCA system, is the most egregious out of all the major platforms, from what I've seen at least.
Yeah.
And they try to stay neutral, so that's why you can get fucked so easily. To the point where one of the best things about watching Joe Rogan's podcast, like watching the video, was to see the clips and stuff that they were reacting to. Now the producer Jamie hardly shows anything, because you show a few seconds of something, companies were generated to just manually claim stuff and then siphon your money. Companies were just profiting off of that. Now YouTube's trying to fix it a little bit, but they're not really. It's actually kind of started to backfire, because now, like, say what's happening a lot, which I've noticed in a lot of my videos, is instead of them just having the money siphoned, they're being blocked worldwide. And that's infinitely worse to me, because I can still grow if I have fucking views. I can still... a lot of people saw my video. Now it's just being blocked worldwide, where I'm like, what the fuck? Videos that I made years ago. Like, I did a Post Malone cover on my second channel like 3 years ago. And then just this year, it's blocked worldwide. I'm like, are you fucking... Like, what the fuck, man?
Dude, it's crazy. I still get emails every day from about videos that are private from like 2009 that get copyright struck. And it's like, what the fuck? What are you doing? Like, why is this only being caught now? 10 years, 11 years after I uploaded it. It's insane. But I don't know, man. It's just getting insane. Like, they just hit JonTron too. Like, JonTron had like a whole thing where like his most recent Kid Nation video, which by the way is very, very funny. He had like, I think maybe a total of 5 or 7 seconds of some song that he bought the license to, by the way. and it still got copyright struck. Like that entire video, all the money that he made from that video now isn't his anymore, and it belongs to the people who manually claimed his video for the 5 seconds of audio that they owned, even though he bought the license for it. It's a fucking disaster. It's just hard to make content now, like, because you're just constantly thinking about, like, okay, I could choose to spend a long time writing this big video and editing this big video, and then have all my hard work amount to literally nothing because it can get stolen for having like a bit of copyrighted material. And even if it doesn't have a bit of copyrighted material, maybe there's like something in the metadata that fucks it up. Maybe it doesn't go out to subscribers and it doesn't hit the views that it really should. Maybe it gets demonetized for whatever the fuck reason YouTube decides it should be demonetized for, because it's never consistent ever.
Yeah.
What are you gonna do? Are you gonna stay on that platform? Like, are you gonna, like, it's very easy to see why people are not happy with the platform right now.
Dude, speaking of this is crazy, like how like intuition or something works out, because do you remember Dieter, that giant? Yeah. Okay, so he just tagged me on Facebook because I try to avoid this topic because it really just bums me out. It's really demoralizing about YouTube, where there has been a problem with dozens, maybe hundreds, who knows, maybe thousands of channels where each time you upload, you lose subscribers. And it's not the fault of yours because the videos are being positively received. They're not being bombed and people are unsubbing. There's an issue. Something's happening with YouTube, and I don't know what it is, and I see it a lot, and I just try to avoid it because it's just, I'm like, I don't want to see that shit anymore. I just don't even want to fucking pay attention to it. Like, say, last year, I was over 420,000 subs, and then I went down, and then I finally went back up because I started, some videos performed pretty well, and now I'm back to 417,000. Like, it just keeps happening, and I'm not making money, and videos that I know that should take off and blow up, they're just like, they cap out at a certain point. Like, they won't, I don't know what it is. People are saying that it's suppression on purpose. I think it's a fucking bug and they don't know what to do. And I brought up Dieter because he just started having this issue, and it bummed me. I went on fucking Facebook real quick just to check my stupid year in review stuff. And then all of a sudden I see one of his posts. Hey, has anybody else been having this problem? I'm like, fuck me, dude. I'm like, can I go anywhere without seeing this bullshit haunt me? It's sad.
The biggest issue I think with it is honestly that YouTube feels genuinely less free than television feels. Like, the shit that you can do on, like, a show on Adult Swim is far more than you can do on YouTube, despite the fact that there's corporate intervention on Adult Swim, despite the fact that there are business executives to keep happy and sponsors to keep happy. And it's just so backwards because it used to be the exact opposite. And it's just, I don't know, man. It's weird. The biggest problem, or one of the biggest problems in my opinion, is the fact that you just don't know how to read the room when you're just being fed incorrect data.
Actually,
yeah.
I agree with that heavily.
Like, if you run a show, like if you're Justin Roiland and you have a new show, the network is going to tell you everything that you need to know because it's in the network's best interest that your show does well. They're going to say, here's the episodes that are not doing well. Here are the potential reasons why that episode isn't doing well. Okay, well then you can learn to improve based on that accurate feedback. But with YouTube, it's like, I can put out the best video I've ever made. It could be like objectively. Let's say hypothetically, it's like the best quality, the most coherent, the most tightly edited. Everything about it is superb. But the video might not go out to the video might not go out to subscribers because there's a glitch with the feed. Oh, okay, well, all right.
Also, it's the do's and don'ts.
It gets demonetized because you said the word fuck once in it, even though you've said the word fuck in previous episodes and it wasn't demonetized. So like it's just, you don't know how to read the room and you don't know how to improve your content to appease the rules of the site if they don't tell you what the rules of the site are. I don't know if I'm making a mistake. I don't know if I'm doing things correctly because it seems like I'm punished and rewarded for doing both things.
Yeah.
And it's frustrating as a creator because you just don't know. That's just not how feedback is supposed to work. And I get that. I understand that YouTube is huge. There's like billions of people on it. It's basically a country. It employs thousands upon thousands of people. I understand that it can't be easy to like work with this website that's probably built on code that is ancient by today's standards.
Yeah.
I understand that there's probably like a ton of work that needs to go into even making the site function properly. But at the same time, it's like, dude, this is just not, it's not as fun as it used to be. And it's not as creatively satisfying. It's not as fulfilling. It's not as interesting. Even just the conversations that are going around on the platform. It's just all this drama shit because it's just the stuff that makes the most money.
Yeah, or like
This is like
vlogging and shit, which is like just the most.
Yeah.
Like no shade to anyone I know who vlogs, but for me, vlogging is just the most. It's so weird to me. It's so weird. People
Just like
record.
mundane shit. Like, look at my kid take a shit.
It's not even that. It's that, like recording. So like me and one of our roommates were watching something yesterday, and some guy was vlogging his proposal to his wife, and I'm like, what? Like, isn't that an intimate thing? Like, why are you vlogging that? Why
Dude,
are you like?
was this the
insane
same
to
one
me.
where it was like multiple angles, dude?
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw
like,
that, and
what
I
the
thought that was the
fuck is this?
fucking dumbest shit I've ever seen. It was so dumb.
So it's. I feel like the YouTube algorithm is really like, I feel like the things that are becoming popular and the things that are becoming the most lucrative in YouTube are just so fucking beyond me. Like, gaming is really popular, which I respect. You know, gaming is cool, and having someone commentate, because like watching a video game, having someone comment on a video game, that's definitely different. Like, that's better. I'd rather hear someone talk to me while I'm playing a video game while they're playing a game, you know, or like give me some sort of informative idea. But when it comes to people that just record their lives, it's like no one's life is that exciting.
Yeah. but
Unless
that's
you're like
just
unless you're like a fucking Marine who's doing like some fucking wild shit. Like James Bond's life is exciting enough for him to vlog it, but not
Yes.
fucking not
yeah, I
this
don't know,
girl.
but-
Like, fuck you. I don't care what you do.
That's just but that's just a stylistic like content preference. Like I just feel like the platform in general is just,
But they're so lucrative. Is what I'm saying. Like it's weird.
well, like even back in 2016, like I would make a video, right, and it would get demonetized, right, for some bullshit, and I wouldn't know why, but I would still get accurate reception from the audience, you know,
Yeah.
because like the subscriber boxes weren't glitched and broken. Like my videos would go out to the people who subscribed. There was no bell because the bell was consolidated in the subscribe button, like the original purpose of that button
Yes.
to fucking begin
Yeah.
with.
Like every other platform.
And-
Every other platform. No, I'm just supporting what you're saying. Like, say I use Apple, the podcast, and you press the subscribe button, and you get a notification from every podcast because that is the purpose of that.
Yeah.
That's the very purpose.
Without fail, dude. Without fail, no other site has a subscribe button that is as meaningless as the YouTube subscribe button. It genuinely, it just doesn't work. It is broken. It's bugged. And it's frustrating because, like I said, like back then there were all sorts of issues, right? Like, there were all sorts of issues with content. You get demonetized for saying this, and you could say it again in another video, and it wouldn't get hit, and it would be just confusing. There was still rampant copyright strike abuse on the platform. It's fine, but I knew that, like, oh well, you know what? I can make a video and it'll get copyright struck. It's like, all right, that sucks, but at least you know what? It's at least getting out to my audience, and because it's getting out to my audience, it's at least getting shared, and because it's getting shared, it means more people are coming into my content, and it means more people are looking at the content that is monetized by going through the backlog.
Mm-hmm.
But that's not the case anymore because the content's just not going out to... I get
Yeah.
messages every fucking time I upload. Oh, I didn't get a notification for this.
Yeah.
Every single fucking time.
How demoralizing is
And
it, man?
it's just... That never used to happen. It's insane that it's even... It's insane that they think that that's okay. Like, that they haven't even addressed it.
That's that right there. That's the thing that I've sent. And here's the thing. This is what, and this is why it's so demoralizing. I've sent multiple emails, and I explained I'm an analytics person when it's really important to me, and I've collected all the data that I had on my channel, and I presented my case showing, hey guys, I've been averaging 100K subs per year, averaging this many views, averaging this amount of money. Everything is normal. Even when people were saying, "Oh, the your guys' type of content is dying or it's dead," and I'm like, if you look at the numbers, it's not really dead. It appears to be. I understand the perception of it, But like say in 2018 or whatever, or early 2019, like you putting out a certain something, and I'm still getting like for me like I can still get 100K or 200K on a video. It was still kind of working, and then in March, like just a little bit afterwards, it just broke completely for me. And never recovered. And I sent a bunch of emails explaining my case, like, what's going on? Could you guys please look into this? Hey guys, I can't add my Teespring link, my Teespring to my YouTube. Like, I see how you can do that. And then their response was, something's happening. Oh, it's gonna roll out soon. I kept getting different responses, knowing that they don't have this figured out at all. Because at the very least, I thought they were gonna give similar responses, like just say this because we know what's going on and we're fixing it. But no, they didn't know shit. And I even showed them the last ditch effort I made was, hey guys, I just made a brand new channel. This was September, I think, of 2019. And I just linked my Teespring to it. It's a brand new channel. Like, why can't I do that on my main channel? Can you please look into it? There's got to be some type of code or something, right? But then they just, pulled down my pants and kept fucking me. And so I'm like, all right, I don't.
It's frustrating. I know for a fact, my new video is doing better than my last 10 uploads. It's doing better in every viewer retention is up, ratios are up, comments are up, engagement is up. And I know for a fact it's going to hit this random cap that's completely out of my control. And it's like, I just know it. And it's just like, what the fuck is wrong with this shit? Makes no sense.
Dude, one thing that I've learned, and I've given advice to some smaller YouTubers. I told them, if you have a channel and you're trying to grow rapidly and you've been kind of stagnating or whatever, create a new channel. Just do a new channel. I guarantee you're going to have better, it's going to take a minute because you have to do all those loopholes to be monetized now. Like whatever is 4,000 hours and whatever the stipulations are. But say with one of my other channels that I started, because I have 3 now. When I first started it just boom, this video 100K, this video 100K. It just started, the algorithm was working like normal and people are seeing the videos, engagement is up. It's not completely the CPM, the money that you make per 1,000 views, for the people that don't know that, it is way higher than my main channel. It's fucking sad, dude. So
it's really weird.
Yeah.
So
it's honestly so weird. But that's YouTube.
That's why I don't make YouTube videos. You see? Duh. Everything
Man,
makes
fuck
sense.
you.
Really is,
that is not
honestly,
why you don't do it.
It is the worst possible time. You wasted a lot of time.
I did.
You can't.
Oh, I did.
You can't. You can't blame anybody.
I'm gonna have to. I have to do this, unfortunately. But
no, you really don't. There's no point now.
I mean, maybe you should still do it at least. Just put your clips from Twitch on YouTube.
I'm just gonna start just uploading my straight up streams. I'm just gonna upload all of my streams to YouTube.
There you go. Just beat off on them and see how long you can stay up if you just beat off on your stream and upload it to YouTube.
Yeah, I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna do that much. I am just gonna upload. I might do that right now, actually. Fuck it.
Well,
recording.
Nah, no.
Anyway, let's get into some questions here. We talked for a pretty long time about actual.
Yeah, we did.
About actual
some
shit.
real shit.
This is actually a topics-driven podcast. This episode.
Yeah, people are gonna be fucking confused and freaked out.
Yeah, it's like, where's the question? So I put out a question thread on Patreon thinking that it went live, but I guess Patreon just glitched out. Patreon's another platform that's just completely bugged. but that's just more to shoddy web design than anything else.
Yep.
So I put the question thread out, but it never went public. So we didn't collect questions this week.
Oh, sick.
But we have a lot of questions. We have a couple questions that we'll probably be able to get to in the final moments of this episode. That we didn't answer from previous episodes, or just some that were just sent in message formats.
Okay, cool.
So let's jump into it. This guy's name is a direct threat to me.
Okay,
so I'll read it out because it's basically a comment in and of itself. A pox on your house for resurrecting Caramel Danson, you Hispanic skeleton.
Oh my god.
I played no part in resurrecting Caramel Danson. Caramel Danson is a wonderful song from the annals of the internet that has always been around and will continue to be. It actually resurfaced. It actually resurfaced with that. What is that meme? I don't think Lil Nas X started it, but it was that meme where it's shows the outside of the house and it's the strobe lights, and you just hear the song muffled, and then it cuts to the inside of the house and the person's just on the ground, fucking listening to this stupid Swedish anime song.
I don't know the meme, but I know what you're talking about. I've heard of it.
Yeah. It's a good song, so I didn't do that. So fuck you. Anyway, he says, if you could wipe your memory of any game franchise in order to experience it fresh, which would it be and why? Mine is the original Paper Mario. Bonus points if it would hold up to modern standards.
Mario 64.
Really?
Oh, no, I don't want to forget that game.
Well, you get to experience again. That's the whole point.
Red Dead 2.
That's not a bad.
I would love
that's
to
not a
read.
bad
Oh,
answer.
no, Halo.
No.
I would do
No.
it. I would do it so I could
I would never
fucking
wanna
find out
forget
about
that.
Arbiter again and then cry.
I would. Man, a game that I would probably the first BioShock would be fucking wild.
Ooh.
To experience that twist genuinely again would be pretty, because I think when I played the game originally, I was too young and stupid to comprehend what the twist was, so I kind of had it ruined like a little bit. So it'd be nice to actually get a proper chance at like getting my brain exploded by that again.
What about you? Or freaking Chrono Trigger.
Listen, you got to settle on
I'm
one, all
sorry,
right?
Yeah,
it's
man.
so
Yeah,
many
man.
games.
I mean, you got.
Well, then-
which one tickled your fancy the most, man?
I would say Chrono Trigger.
Yeah.
It's a valid one.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Cry.
Man, yeah, I do agree that there is a lot of things to choose from, but I still nothing has really made my jaw drop like say when I played God of War 3 for the first time, because the graphics and just the cinematography, the way that the angle and the way that they set everything up was so, there wasn't anything like it. Nothing. The graphics were just I mean, I look at it now and then say remastered on PS4 still looks fantastic. But you know how our eyes worked, and Jesus, man, I just remember playing the opening scene when you're fighting Poseidon and you're on
beat him
Gaia,
down.
and it's just so, my jaw was just like open the whole time, like, oh my god, this going from God of War 2 to 3 is fucking ridiculous. Like, I'm sure there are other examples of jumps like that of games have been, oh yeah, we went from this to this, like 0 to 100, but that's how it felt. And that's something that I would not mind experiencing again, where I'm in awe. Because usually I'm like, oh, I'm having a lot of fun with a game, but never did I really feel like it wouldn't be a bad idea to pull my dick out and come. Like there would be no better feeling. Because imagine being that. It's like the time when the chick was going down on me while I was eating a McFlurry. That's right below experiencing God of War 3 for the first time.
That's some real,
bliss.
that's some Seinfeld shit, like genuinely.
That's bliss right there, bro.
There's a whole episode of Seinfeld about that exact
Is
thing.
there?
Not a McFlurry necessarily.
ice
He
cream
was
cone?
like, no, George was like, what if I combined food and sex? That'd be like the ultimate fucking thing, wouldn't it?
It fucking
And he does
is.
it, and then he forms this like psychological link between the two where he can't get off unless he's eating, and he can't eat without without fucking coming. It's a fucking hilarious. I can't believe that was on fucking
That sounds pretty good.
That?
because they were clever in the way that they wrote it.
You gotta love
But,
Seinfeld.
All right, let's move on here. Liquid the Dr. Pepper Elemental
Nice.
wrote in. Says, "What's up, black metal, sween titan, and flimsy bespectacled goblin?"
Ooh, how does that feel?
I like. It feels good. I love the word bespectacled.
spectacle.
Like it's a word that's like not used really ever,
It
but every
really
time I
isn't.
hear it, it brings like a smile to my fucking goblin face. What is the hands down weirdest game you've ever played? Any of the three of you, whether it was good or bad, just something that made you feel weird throughout the entire duration of whatever playtime you had with it. Jimmy and the Pulsating Mass is an RPG with neat mechanics that made me feel super uneasy despite looking like a children's game.
What game was weird? I think playing
even know what
Half-Life
that
was kind of strange to me the first time. It was a little
Really?
it was a little
Why?
strange to me.
What?
I don't know, because I played it like around the time of the first Baldur's Gate game I ever played in like fucking 1999 or some shit was so weird to me because it was like very D&D heavy and I was really small, so I had no clue what the fuck was going on. Like all of these like interactions, like important talking points were happening, and I was like, I don't get what this means. I'm a kid. I want to hit things. I don't like being stopped. And I played it.
Yeah.
I played like at least like 3 or 4 hours of it, which is a lot in little kid time. And I was like, I just don't like this enough. I'm gonna play Crash Bandicoot, and I just played Crash.
You kind of just reminded me of something that I need to conquer, because I was defeated by it. You guys remember Virtual Boy?
What?
You guys,
Yeah.
No, not exactly.
Oh no, shit! It was just that.
Oh, the Virtual Boy console.
Yeah, it was the
gotcha.
virtual reality. You put that visor on, and then it was just all infrared essentially, or whatever it was. I don't even remember what the fuck it was.
Yeah,
But yeah,
yeah.
it was-
just complete. It was red with like it was black. It was black in the negative space
Yeah.
with like red lines making everything up.
Yeah, yeah, and it was interesting. Like there was Mario Tennis, which I actually had a lot of fun with. But for some reason, and I need to conquer this now that I think about it, I couldn't figure out how Tetris worked because it would be falling from like up, and I was confused, and I couldn't figure. I was probably like 7, 8. I don't know how fucking old I was, but I couldn't figure it out, and it frustrated me. So I never completed like a long, lengthy. I imagine how a boomer would be like now if you were to just throw them into like a team deathmatch of any fucking FPS. Like they just wouldn't
Yeah.
understand what's happening. Like that's how I felt, and I was fucking. My brain still doesn't understand it. So now I'm gonna buy a Virtual Boy off of fucking eBay.
I'm genuinely astonished that you've even had personal experience with a Virtual Boy because that's like a console that I genuinely didn't know that console existed until probably the 2010s.
I know shit.
Like I probably saw some video about it by some like epic gamer on YouTube, and he was like, "Check out this Virtual Boy," and I was like, "What?" I think the Angry Video Game Nerd actually made a video about the Virtual Boy, and that was like probably the first time I'd ever seen it. I don't know anybody. You're the only person I know who's had one.
Interesting. Yeah,
That's wild.
yeah. It wasn't a good console. it wasn't good at all.
I've never I've seen them. Like I've heard lore of them. I've heard word that they exist, but like I've never spoken to anyone that's played them.
I've never encountered
would you
them in the
get-
wild.
Where would you get one of those? Probably on
When I was
on the
eBay.
internet, of course. But like shit, where
Yeah,
did
I'm gonna-
you get one of those when you had one?
It was. I honestly, I'm not even here. Look, I don't know if my mom got it or. All I know is that my mom, she loved, even though she didn't necessarily keep up with technology, she was always curious. She would always like as soon as Game Gear came out, she was like, "Yo, here's this Game Gear," and I was like, "Mom, this takes 6 fucking batteries. This is stupid. This is so fucking dumb. Are you kidding me?" I still played it. I had this Bruce Lee game on it, and I had this X-Men game. The graphics were great. Sega was always good for that. I was like, all right, Sega Saturn looked good, failed. Fucking with all of their shit. Dreamcast, it's always had like some innovative stuff, and then it always fucking failed. And we had all of that stuff. We always had like the weird shit. I think I even had a Neo Geo for a fucking second. So it was always like trying different things, and I don't know that red shit, man. That seemed it's kind of off-putting, but ambitious for old school fucking game Nintendo, man.
Yeah, for sure.
For real.
It's definitely the hallmarks of, or like the early DNA of VR, even if it was
Absolutely.
horrendous.
The early blood work.
I don't know what the weirdest. I've played a lot of strange games. I don't know what the strangest one is, but I know one that's very strange that I recently kind of jumped into because some friends of mine
I know what you're talking about.
on YouTube have been playing it, and they've been making a little Let's Play series about it. It's this thing on Itch.io, which is like this platform that just has like a lot of like Unity games that people just throw up on a website, and you could sort of play them in browser, or I think you can download some of them. But there's this game called Black Baby,
What do you what is
and I genuinely don't know how to describe it because it's so basically you're in this really dark labyrinth, and you play as a black baby.
Okay.
And you're running around with like an axe, and you have torches, and it's basically like a collect the key, open the game. But the main adversary is like they're these tall like
white.
they're these tall Burger Andy looking guys who like they're all naked, and they stand in every big arena. And then the second you walk into the arena and you go down the steps and you're on the same plane as them, they start walking toward you, and they try to kick you in the head and kill you. And it's genuinely so unnerving because it's so silent. It's very. I would just suggest Google Black Baby. Oni Plays have been doing a pretty good playthrough of it, and it's definitely in recent memory, it's the strangest game I've ever played. I'm sure there are like some point and click games that I used to play when I was a kid, like Darby the Dragon, that were kind of strange, or like My Street, which was like a PS2 game that was like a Sims clone that was like really not good. But
I never heard of that.
Black Baby definitely takes the cake.
Black baby. So are we talking about an African American baby, or are we talking about
It's a black baby.
the literal color black? Or the not color.
I don't know.
It's a combination of the two. I think. I think it's some sort of weird
Because it's so,
combination
the
of
thing
two.
is, it's so dark in the game, and like the environments, and all the lighting is golden because it's torches and like fire. So like, I don't know if it's solid black, but the light makes it look like a African American.
both.
I don't know what I don't know what is going
I
on.
think
in
it's
this
What
game.
the
both
fuck?
a
You just have to
dark
look it up to
place
understand.
and a black baby.
That
Because
is
I
a
think-
nigga baby, dude. I'm just looking at it right now.
That is a the thing about black babies that I'm pretty sure it's based off of that meme or that Vine where the mom is coming outside and there's this little black naked baby running around trying to avoid getting beat. I'm pretty sure that is what created the roots that
What the
eventually grew
fuck,
into
dude?
black baby.
This is literally a fucking black baby.
It's a baby whose skin is black.
Are you seeing gameplay of it?
Yeah, I'm looking it up right now.
It's such a strange fucking. I did jump into it though, and it is genuinely like kind of horrifying.
Another weird ass game is Echo the Dolphin. No one else has played. A lot of people haven't played that game, and I'm one of the.
Oh, Echo the Dolphin! Echo the Dolphin is probably like the most popular weird game.
I fucking
or
love
that
it.
in like what's that? Wait a minute, what's that Sega game with the fucking fish with the human face?
What?
Oh,
Wait,
you
that
mean
thing?
Dreamcast?
Oh my God. That thing's from a
Dreamcast.
game?
You're talking about Dreamcast, right?
Wait, right?
Yeah.
Is that what it
Yeah,
is?
That face
'cause
is
the-
from a game?
It was like this AI, wasn't it?
Yeah. It would ask you to feed it, and like you would. Oh my god, I can't remember the name. Man Bass or
Hold on.
Seaman? I think it was called Seaman.
Seaman. Hold on.
Seaman Dreamcast.
I was gonna put in. I got
Yeah, it's totally it.
Weird Fish Simulator. What is it called? Seaman. Yeah, My Seaman.
It's totally it.
My
Seaman
Seaman.
for the Dreamcast.
That's fucking.
What a fucking disgusting game. This is probably it, actually. This is definitely stranger than Black Baby to me.
I forgot, dude. I am a huge fan of Dreamcast, and I completely forgot about this.
Because I need to see this.
I completely
Okay.
forgot about this.
Dude,
I hope
played
you have the
Echo the
picture
Dolphin, and
that I
people
see.
were so weird about it. I was like, hey, if you, I would go to school and talk about it, and people would be like, what are you talking about? What the fuck is that?
That's Seaman.
I got a side.
It was
I got
like
a
this
side view.
AI. It was like it would grow. Yeah, that. It was so fucking gross. I'm having so many flashbacks right now because I forgot about this for so
This is
long.
weirder than
I
Echo.
played it on.
This is not Echo is not as weird as this, man. This is weirder than
Yeah.
Echo the Dolphin.
Echo was just fun, man. It was just a fucking cool ass dolphin.
You played it too?
Of course, dude. I had the sequel.
You had
It's
a
fucking-
sequel?
Yeah, on
Dude,
Sega.
I told people about that game. Everybody was like, what are you talking about? I'm like, I swear, you play as a dolphin and you try to clean up the ocean. And everybody's like, you're fucking crazy, Kingston. And I'm like,
No,
no,
yeah.
I swear.
Bruh, I think on it was at least one of the Sega collections, not the one that's been out recently, but there was a classic collection that had all the Echo the Dolphins on it. Like for sure, like people
Yeah.
should fucking know about this shit.
Echo is definitely something that people in the gaming ecosystem know about, but it's not. It's definitely not like a mainstream thing. It's not like a Call of Duty or like even like something like a Mass Effect or something where people could be like, oh, that's that video game,
Trust
right?
me.
Echo the
Play
Dolphin
Echo the
is
Dolphin.
very, very, and it's also like relegated to a lot of Sega devices,
True.
so it's even kind of more obscure because of that.
Did you guys
But I definitely knew about it.
did you guys
Everybody
ever
play
play
Echo the
the
Dolphin. Seriously. It's a great
Oh yeah,
game.
check out Echo the Dolphin. But also you need to check out the Sonic ripoff, Awesome Possum,
I remember this.
where he fights Dr. Machino.
Oh my
I
god.
remember seeing that one time and I was like, what the fuck is this? I was definitely
I
already
had
a
a lot of
teenager.
weird. I had a lot of weird Genesis games. I had like a Beavis and Butthead
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Genesis game, and I had like a Ren and Stimpy one. I'm pretty sure. I might be wrong.
I think you're right. I think there was one.
Yeah, I can't remember if that's. I can't remember if I'm getting to that point where it's like I can't remember if my memories are real or if I've just invented them.
Yeah, that's
You know what I mean?
scary because that's a real problem I've had a lot lately. Like I can't remember if I'm remembering things that actually are my memories.
Yeah, so if you're a family member listening to this and you're like, oh, we never had that game. then fucking just let me know because I'm going insane over here.
Dude, you know what I did with that? Just real quick, I had one of those moments where I thought it was maybe Mandela or I was losing my mind because I used to go to this Boys and Girls Club and they had this beat 'em up, the side-scrolling beat 'em up game. And the one thing that I'll never forget about it is this girl, she had long black hair and she wore a pink thong. Like, you can't forget about that. That's a weird choice to be fighting crime in. And I would tell people about the game and they're like, I've never fucking heard of that shit. And then I'd try to go to like obscure video game experts and then they couldn't even figure it out. I'm like, is it this? Is it that? I'm like, are you fucking serious? Does it not exist? And then I found one forum, and this was years ago. I found a forum from 2005 where the guy was describing the same thing. And I was like, oh my God, my kindred spirit. This guy knows. And then when I forgot about it, and I brought it up again in 2017, and since then there's been an explosion of ROMs and emulators and shit, and uploaded all to YouTube, and it's called Zero Team. And there was people like, yeah, man, I've heard of Zero Team. Like, check out all this shit. And I was like, it did none of the all of the footage on YouTube was not there, and then it just was there, and it fucking made me so mad that I was just searching a few years too soon. And
That's how it works, man.
Dude, that's like I had this very distinct memory of I think I talked about this on the podcast before, but there was this cartoon that I remember seeing. Like, it was one of the earliest memories I can remember. It's like I was just awake I was awake and I was about to go to school and I was like eating cereal at like 6 a.m. because that's when you had to wake up for school for some fucking insane reason. And I was watching TV and there was this cartoon about like, it looked like the Wild Thornberries, but it wasn't the Wild Thornberries. And all I could say was like, there was this really weird ripoff of the Wild Thornberries that I used to watch, and everybody thought it was crazy. And then like the more I asked around about it, like after I exploded on YouTube, it was the second I got an audience, it was the first thing that I asked. Like, I was like, okay, listen, now that I've got an army of people watching me, I need to find this fucking thing that I haven't been able to find for years. And they were like, oh, that's Jumanji, the cartoon.
Oh, the Jumanji
oh
cartoon.
yeah,
I
that's right.
Like, what?
I remember that.
Because I swear it was just like the same, like they were in the wilderness and like the fucking dad looked like
Fucking Nigel.
He looked like the Smashing.
Yeah, Nigel Thornberry.
Nigel Thornberry.
Nigel, yeah. And I was like, oh my God, I thought for the longest time that I just hallucinated this weird rip-off cartoon and it was just Jumanji.
Smashing,
I've
my
definitely
nigga.
woken up lately. Lately, I've woken up and I don't know if my dreams are my memories anymore. And I kind of stay in my room a little longer. Like, what's happening to me right now? Like,
It's really...
I recently had
what?
a very fucked dream where me and my friends went to the Middle East. And we had to stop Nick Cannon from acquiring some weird sort of treasure. So me and my friends were jumping inside of toilets that were lined with this weird cloth thing. And we would go inside the toilets and then slink our way through this hotel that was ran by Nick Cannon. And
What is wrong with you?
That dream, I woke up from my sleep shaking because I was so confused about the world I was existing in. And Nick Cannon's wife got into the hotel room that we were in because we couldn't get down Nick Cannon's toilets because he had some sort
Mariah
of
Carey?
muscle toilets that were like incapable of squeezing past. So Nick Cannon's wife got in and I saw her and I freaked out and took a picture of her and she passed out because she had like photonarcolepsy or some shit. And I remember just saying,
What?
guys, this is scary. This isn't how the world works. And I woke up shaking and immediately tweeted about it because I was so scared.
All right, wait.
Well, I need to see this animated.
Yeah, please.
I don't know.
First of all, what was Nick Cannon's wife? Was it Mariah Carey? Was it somebody else?
It was a black woman.
Oh, so it's just some made up bullshit. And I also
She
gotta
was really
say
attractive in my dream. Like, oh, this is a really beautiful black woman. But like I had to tranquilize her because I had to get out of there. And my friend, literally, I kid you not, my friend dived into a toilet and he like went into the toilet. Like they were hiding in toilets. They were fucking.
But you surely you knew that was fake though, because it's absurd.
I was so confused that because it was fake.
Listen. Here's the thing. Like, I have dreams about talking to people. Like, I'll just have a dream about like, oh, I'll get a text message from my cousin in my dream, and then I'll wake up and then it won't be there, and then I'll be confused because the dream and reality are so like close as far as to like the rules that they abide by that it's really difficult for me to remember like whether or not I talk to this person in real life or not. You're talking about diving into toilets while rescuing treasure from fucking Nick Cannon.
I understand it sounds ridiculous and far-fetched, But the thing is that I think my mind was in a more like relative state. Like a more like I understood. Like this is. It wasn't really far fetched. Like dream me. It was like I'm kind of lucidly dreaming somewhat, but I don't know where the line is. And I saw that, and I was like, that's not how things work. But I'm seeing someone do it, so that's how things work. You understand what I mean?
Yeah, look, I don't have any concept of lucid dreaming. I never do it, so I can sympathize with you, man. Like I had a really dumb ass dream to where. Do you remember when The World Is Not Enough came out? It was the sequel to GoldenEye.
Skyfall?
No, this is like the way back then. So there was GoldenEye, then The World Is Not Enough came out, and so I bought that game thinking that it was gonna be as cool as GoldenEye, but it was like completely different. But so I dreamed about it that night, because I was kind of pissed off, so it was burned into my brain. And I had a dream, and it felt real as fuck that I was 007 or some fake-ass 007. And I went to a volcano island, and I got captured, and then I was being tortured with sex. And, like, it just, like... It felt like if you can lucid dream, you would be like, oh, this is the dumbest thing ever, and then you're gonna like really lay some pipe, right? You're gonna make as many women as possible. But I was like I didn't want to fuck these girls, like in this dream. Like I was when did that come out? So I was when did The World Is Not Enough come out? I was
like 2002, 2001.
Yeah, I was that age, whatever fucking in 2000. So I was probably like just becoming a teenager or something like that. And
that's so funny.
Like shit like that, it seemed totally real, but I don't have the capacity where people tell me that, oh yeah, I recognize when shit's not real and fake in my dreams, and I know what's going on. I'm like, fuck it, dude, I wish I could do that, because
it's a godforsaken mess. The most frustrating dreams are the ones where they're like, because I had a dream like this recently, and this isn't like some wacky like, oh, look how zany this dream is. This is genuinely like, I had a dream that like I was just going about my day, and the Halo Infinite gameplay reveal dropped, and I was watching it and I was so disappointed. And then I woke up feeling just bummed, because I was just like, oh man, this is like a game, like I'm dreaming about a game. You know what I mean? Like that happens so rarely now. It used to happen a lot when I was a kid, because I would be like unreasonably excited for new video games.
I've definitely dreamt I've lost my wallet and been like so fucking angry because I have to get a new fucking license and shit. And I'm just like, are you fucking serious? God,
just
damn
fucking
it.
minor, just the most just inconvenience dreams are the worst.
So it is.
But oh man, so we're at 2 hours now. So I think now's a pretty good time to cap this conversation off.
Yeah.
Thank you for those of you who are listening, for those of you who are watching, although if you're watching it'd be weird because it's just a still image. We appreciate your support. So if you like what you've heard today, God help you if you do. Consider supporting us over at patreon.com/thesnarktank. $1 a month gets you early access and ad-free episodes. $5 a month gets you a question read on the show. $10 gets you access to our Discord, and $15 gets you a producer credit in your name, dyslexically read at the end of the show, which I will now do as soon as I open Patreon and click through their horribly designed webpage.
3
and get this set up.
2.
No, hold on. I still got to get it open. I was an idiot and closed the tab by accident.
3.
Okay.
2. 1 and
00 Dolphin, a chocolate simp nookie.
ooh,
What is that?
sounds gross.
I hate that. Level 1 cleric, a pig. A pig nig eating a twig. Chad.
Okay.
I don't know what to make of this. A pox on your house for resurrecting Caramel Dancing, you Hispanic skeleton. Aaron, Chris, I'd love to work with you or help on any project. Kalupa, you can just send me that in a message, dude. That's just, I'm sorry, that's felt needlessly calling you out. Aaron Alvarez, Aetherian, Alex Morrison, Alexia V. Britannia. Could be a real name, could not. All Hands on Dick, the immortal Negro lyncher of the Grand Wizard Street.
Oh
God
my
help
God,
you,
that's
sir.
such a powerful creature. I feel
Yeah,
like he
that's
has a real
a Dungeons
aura.
and Dragons boss.
Yeah. Like you go to a certain town in D&D and every black person's dangling from a tree. and you're like, what
God
the
damn.
fuck? What the fuck happened
They
here?
they would definitely lose a lot of subscribers for that. Even I would be like, dude, like what?
Like, whoa, bro, that's kind
Maybe
of
don't do that.
You killed all of them?
Oh my God. Aughts King, Beelzebub the Gimp, Ben Douglas, Big Dude 04444, Big G with what? Big G with an fat. That's just fucking so grammatically fucking false. Black Nipple Gang, Cakes and Foxy PH, Carson Jones, Cataclysmic Cunt, Chris Bash My Coot.
Ooh.
Okay, Chris Gregun raped my child. All right, well let's not falsely accuse
Remember what
anybody
happened
here.
last time?
Let's not get Keemstar get a hold of that. Cold Burb, Count Cocula. That's pretty good. I like
That's
that.
fucking funny.
That is something I'm surprised I haven't heard before.
Cocula.
Like, how have I not heard Count Cocula before? That's so obvious, but still like
You're
funny.
not watching enough porn parodies, Chris. You got to get your weight up. Count Smegula. This is Smegula.
Oh my God, Curtis Smith, Dangle Blampy, Dank House, Danny DeVito's Dank Dick.
Oh.
David Connolly, David Delaney, Decato, Derek, Daddy, Delicately Dick My Dainty Delicious Ass.
Whoa.
There you go.
Okay.
DJ Zerdav, the anarcho dubstepist.
Oh.
Sounds like a old school skeptic channel almost. Dodadod, Dovacunt, Dunderhead, Emperor Palpatine. Oh, just straight up Emperor Palpatine. I was expecting to read that into some pun, but it's just
that's even worse. Palpatine's fucking terrible.
just straight up a villain. Thanks. Thanks for your money. Fat Houdini, a female Sonic admirer, fetus fluid fellatio, Fiajar Tandri Guttormson, foreskin residue evacuation specialist,
Okay.
Fuhei, Gavatar the last straight bender. I love that name.
Such a silly
Thank
name.
you, Lucy, for your contribution. Girthworm Jim, Gucci Gang, my Gooch is gangrene. You've been supporting us for a long time. I appreciate that, dude.
Thank you, dude. Thank you.
Heiko, Heartless Wretch, Harvey Lee Boswald, a classic. HK9410, Hugger Derek, I have Dane Bramage. If Smoff was black, he'd be... I can't pronounce. If Smoff was black, he'd be Tom Sweeney. In Congress, July 4th, 1776, the unanimous declaration of the 13 United States of America when the course of human events it. That's your name?
That's fucking epic, but then you fucked up. Like, it was really epic at first. You're like, oh my God, this guy's going to drop some real shit. Then you tripped. What have I got?
Inspector the dick-destroying homunculus.
Wow.
Jabobo, Jason Tentacles, Jeremiah D. McRoberts, Jolly Old Dipshit, John White Boy Extraordinaire, Julius Caesar has Jungle Fever, Katovox, Cat Black, the One Cheek Wonder. God damn it. King of Haphazard, Black. Wait, oh my God, I'm seeing black where there is no black now. King of Haphazard, back from $10 Purgatory. LeMuffler, Limp Bizkit think they're black, but they're just gay. Luigi's eccentric linguini. Melphis 1 Shivlobotomist. Mitchell Blackwood. Moto Zealot. Mr. Ninja Fox 117. Murder Ascended. Nerdmaster. Rack. Eads Masha? I don't know, man. Richter 86. Rumple Foreskin. Ryan M. Kingler. Sweaty Sergeant Sweaty Sack, Slav Squatter, the Globetrotter who dicked your mother's daughter, Stephen, Breaker of Worlds and Bongs, Sunny Chance, Sweenween, Sweeney's Suicidal Spell Check.
Oh my God.
You need a spell check really bad. God, you cannot write to save your life.
I'm so bad at typing things out.
You're so bad at typing things out and then reading them to make sure they're not fucking typed out poorly.
I got so much going on.
All right, that's fair enough. Sweeney the Kawaii Waifu, Stitzrip Kema, that Nick Walker, the Arbiter's sexy mandibles wrapped around my cock.
Oh my God.
The Father, the Son, and the Holy Sween, the Progerian Hunter, the Spectre Angel, tickle my ass hairs, Toby Shootman, Tom, Tootsie, Winthropy, the man cuckoo for Cocoa Cox.
Oh my god.
It's pretty good. Worm Yulan, keeper of the Elder Cream.
Oh my gosh.
Yummy, 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 come inside my tummy, Z Theory, and Zigga the Z is really a sideways end. Thank you all. Thank you all for your support. Really means a lot. The channel's been growing a lot. Well, I guess the podcast, not the channel, although the channel's also growing slowly. Thanks a lot for your support. It means a lot. We look forward to continuing doing all this insane shit. So, once again, patreon.com/thesnarktank.
Podcast.
The merch store, if you want to support us, is teespring.com/stores/snark-tank. And, yeah, if you want to make an animated thing, by all means, send it to us because we love that shit.
Yeah, don't feel like it's gonna be a bother to us. Please animate me particularly. Fuck everybody else. Just animate me.
Wow, okay, cool. Anyway.
I'll kiss you in your mouth. Shut up.